Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jameer Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap, back looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the...
Adam Schefter at ESPN says there's 275,000 people.
Well, that was some party in downtown Detroit. 775,000 people shattering the NFL draft attendance record.
This is the future.
All great.
Evolution. This is the future.
All great.
Evolution.
One sec. I don't have any audio for some reason. Give me one sec, guys. I don't know what just happened.
I can hear you.
Yeah, but I can't hear anything being played. Whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the intro either.
Yeah, that was weird. Interesting. Okay. Let's just do it, I guess. Yeah? Yeah, I got no audio on anything.
Yeah, if you guys can hear us, Robbie won. Dude, I agree with you totally. I am truly sick of fans who want to go back to the Matt Millen days of never being a playoff contender and seeing us finish with a top 5 pick every year. Screw that.
All right, welcome in. It is Wednesday, and of course that means we're going to have some technical difficulty days. I tried getting a new camera set up this morning. Since last night was not working well, but we'll get it fixed up later on today once we get done. Anyway, good morning, man. It is Wednesday, so we are going to be getting into, well, before Thursday Night Football, we have to get into a little bit of the Cowboys today. So it is Wild West Wednesdays, man. Yeehaw, them Cowboys coming into town, and it's gonna be interesting. Are the Lions truly favored because they're just a home team? Should we be favored? What happens if the Lions lose this game? You can already see the fans just completely derailed. A lot of fans have derailed. And you know what? I think a lot of those fans just jumped on the old, they jumped on the old bus, man. And now they're rolling off just as quickly as they came. I'm not surprised. It's the same fans that have done nothing but boo this team, for generations. And I don't get it. Look, if you can't support your Lions, if you're not behind your Lions, that's fine. You don't have to be. There's plenty of us that are. But like I said, do me one favor. When the Lions are winning, do not root for them. Do not say anything nice about them when they're winning, because that just means you're a fair weather fan. So let's get into it, Eric. It is Wild West Wednesdays. Be right back in 17 seconds. I don't get it, man. No audio there either, but how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. To talk about what was being said in the chat there, Brad Holmes in one draft drafted 4 players. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta. You tell me another GM that has had a draft with his 4 first draft picks in a draft all be absolute home runs that are either Pro Bowlers or all pros. I'll wait because there isn't one.
At least there hasn't been in a long time. I mean, there's been
not in the last 5 years.
Not in the
last 5 years. Brad Holmes is the only one that's done it. So I don't want to hear it from all these bandwagon jump on, jump off fans. If you want to be SOL, go be SOL. I swear there's people that are just they're waiting for the shoe to drop all the time. They're just waiting for the negative, and they never want to come up with a solution.
Oh no, there's always one solution, Eric.
Yeah. I'll fire everybody.
No. It's spend $190 million on another edge rusher. That's the only solution.
Yeah. That's all we got. That's all we got left.
You know why?
I have some better solutions.
Yeah, I do too. And you know why why they wait and they wait and they wait in the weeds and they're just ready to pounce like a rattlesnake? Is because they've been wrong this entire time for all of these seasons, and they can't stand the fact that they were wrong, that the Lions were going to win 15 games, that the Lions were going to go to the playoffs 2 years in a row, that the Lions had a shot at the Super Bowl in 2023, and they were wrong about all of it. They were wrong about all the stats. They were wrong about this. They were wrong about that. And so when they get one opportunity, which is it really an opportunity because your team has lost a few games? It's the NFL. Do you think that they're going to win 15 this year? If you really thought that they were going to win 15 this year, please go get the book. It's called Football for Dummies and read it front to back and back to front, upside down, reverse, I don't care, multiple times, because you clearly need the book. This is the NFL, man. You're not going to win every game. It's why you don't see teams go undefeated very often. Happens, once a generation, it seems like a team goes undefeated.
Yeah.
So
and the ones that did that, I mean,
didn't even win a Super Bowl.
No, and they had to have a schedule that either was like a third or a fourth place schedule, or if they did have a first or a second place schedule, those teams that they are playing that were playoff teams the year before had a fall off, because there's no team that's going to have a first place schedule playing all the first place teams from the other divisions. If those teams don't fall off, the teams eat themselves. That's where the parity comes from in the NFL. You don't just play a fourth place schedule every single year. When you're good, you play the hard teams. When you're bad, you play the bad teams. And that's supposed to help you get better. And, so when the Patriots did go 17-0, and then made it to the Super Bowl and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl, to the 6th seed Giants,
Yeah, so
it's crazy.
Let me throw this out there. Brian Brady. I don't know how long you've been watching this channel, but clearly you don't listen. I've said this numerous times. Sacks are not important. They really aren't. They're only important on 3rd and 4th down. 1st and 2nd down, they're not important. They're only important if you drop a team back to where then they can't then get a first down. But if you drop a quarterback on 1st down for 10 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, I don't care, and then they turn around and get those yards back on 2nd down, and then on 3rd down they get a first down, that sack was meaningless. But if you get 3 TFLs in a row on a receiver, on a tight end, on a running back, on a fullback, that's different. Maybe you don't understand about stats and TFLs and sacks is this. A sack is a TFL on a quarterback, and I've said that 100 times. You can only have a TFL on every other player that touches the ball, not named a quarterback. So you have more opportunities to get a TFL than you do a sack. Do the math. 5 players can touch the ball on the play, not name the quarterback. You have 5 opportunities to get a TFL. You have 1 opportunity to get a sack. 5-to-1 ratio, if you didn't pass 2nd grade math, is more than a 1-to-1 ratio. So there you go. That's the numbers for you, bud. Pay attention, because I know what the hell I'm talking about. TFLs will always be more important than a sack because you have more opportunity on every play percentage-wise to get a TFL. But if you don't get a TFL on second, third, or fourth down and you let all these sacks turn into nothing because you allow a first down, tell me, how good was that sack? Aiden had 4.5 sacks in the game. Did we win the game against the Bucs? Nope. Sure didn't. Myles Garrett had 5 sacks against, who was that this year? Did they win the game? Nope. Sure didn't.
Yeah, they lost.
So explain to me how sacks win.
Yeah,
Please.
Myles Garrett has 19, and they've got 3 wins on the season.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
The Browns have the most sacks, or he has the most sacks.
Yeah. He's going to break the sack record on a team that's not even going to be 500.
What's more important on third down, a sack or a TFL? Well, that's where they're equal.
Yeah, they're equal.
That's where they're equal.
I think they're equal
but you have 5 more opportunities to get a TFL on third down than you do a sack. You can only get a sack on a quarterback. But I could go get a TFL on a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. That's 5. Right? Well, you can only have 5 on a play.
Yeah.
Right? You can only have 5 weapons on a play. So
again, Dan Skipper.
I don't say stuff just spewing it out of my ass. I say stuff because I know football. That's why I say stuff. I'm not going to give you anything that's not researched. I'm not going to stand up here and make myself look like an idiot. That's not what I'm all about. I'm also not about doing this. But if you're going to try to call me out in the chat, that won't last long. I promise you, it won't last long.
All right.
Let's get into it, man. What do you want to start with first?
So we got some cool things today. All right. So since this is my last day on the show for the week, I have to do my 5 for Friday, which I would normally do on a Friday. I'm going to give you 5 reasons that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. But then I'm going to turn around and give you 5 reasons why the Detroit Lions are going to win this game. And then I have my 5 bold takes. We have around the NFC North. And we just might have a little update on a possible signing for the Detroit Lions. Someone that just might fit for the Detroit Lions. You want to talk about that first?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, the Pittsburgh Steelers and former Detroit Lion Darius Slay decided to part ways. Darius Slay asked for his release after signing a 1-year, $10 million contract. He just wasn't being used all that much and didn't do too much for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Slay, the former 2013 second-round pick by the Detroit Lions, was with the Pittsburgh Steelers and then went first to the Philadelphia Eagles and then to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And since signing a deal with them this past free agency, it was only a 1-year, $10 million contract, and he hadn't been contributing much to the Steelers defense this season prior to being cut by the team ahead of week 14. This does not mean that Slay still can't contribute. The cornerback would be a perfect addition to a Detroit secondary desperate to add starting talent after the loss of Terrion Arnold for the remainder of the season. This move would scream playoff push, which is why the Detroit Lions should deeply consider making this signing. Now, I'm pretty sure that he has to go on waivers first, but then he can sign with any team he wants to. And in my personal opinion, I think Slay would be the perfect addition. Whether he's fast enough to still play the position or not, it's all of his experience. He's been on a Super Bowl team. He's been on multiple other teams. This guy is a savvy veteran. And even if he's not a starter, if he's quality depth for us, it would very much help this team, especially with Terrion Arnold being out. That's just my 2 cents.
So I haven't watched enough of Darius Slay this year. But at age 34, he's 34, right?
Yes, he's the oldest cornerback in the NFL right now.
You're definitely gonna lose a step. If I were to just look at some quick numbers, I'll use PFF just for a brief moment here to kind of get some of his stats. Not great grades. He's below 60 on everything. He's got a 58.3 overall, but again, it's PFF. He's the 71st. He's the 71st ranked corner in the league right now out of 110 corners.
But what were they asking him to do in?
That's what I don't know because I have not watched the Pittsburgh Steelers, but maybe one time this year. So,
but they run a 3-4. They don't run a 4-3 like we do.
His passer rating against was 126.7. He was allowing 14.1 yards per reception. He has 3 pass breakups. He's allowed 28 catches. I mean, I don't think that he's doing anything better than what we are doing. However, I do like the depth statement. I just don't know. I don't know if Darius Slay would be willing or wanting to be depth, but then again, maybe he would. It would have to make logistical and financial sense for the Lions to pull this off. Meaning, do you feel like you have somebody younger and better in the room right now that has been in your system, that understands your system, that can go out and give you at least what Darius Slay is doing? The thing that I do like, 2 things. I like your depth statement. Second thing is I do like his intelligence in the fact that he knows Detroit. He knows Detroit's fans. He knows what we're all about, but he also understands the game at a very high level. And he turned into a really good corner when he left Detroit. So there is that. I'm not saying it makes perfect sense, but I think as a depth guy, and it'd have to be cheap. Like, it would have to be cheap. Because I can't see wasting $3 million or $5 million on a guy that's just going to sit and be a what if. What if I need you? You know, if you're going to plug and pull him, put him in right now, is he better than Rock Ya-Sin? I don't think so. I don't think he's playing better than Rock Ya-Sin right now.
What about Avonte Maddox?
Avonte Maddox is he plays safety. And he plays more of like that big linebacker role in the dime. I wouldn't get rid of Avonte Maddox either. So I would want to keep Avonte Maddox on this roster. But that's not a 1-for-1. He would be coming in to play cornerback 2. Is what he would be coming in to take over for Terry and Arnold. He wouldn't be playing safety. So he would be taking over for somebody like Rock Ya-Sin. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, you'd still keep Rock Ya-Sin, but that's who you'd be replacing on the roster. At least on game day. You know what I mean?
But if you have him for depth for Rock Ya-Sin, because Sin's not in for every single play, Well, a lot of these guys are getting banged up, and corner seems to be our one position that keeps to be getting banged up every single game. DJ Reed, he was out for a while. Terry and Arnold, he's been out for a while. Rock Ya-Sin's been hurt a game or two. Maddox was hurt a game or two. Everybody in that secondary has been banged up this year.
Yeah, it's been a tough go in the secondary, man. It really has.
Just for me, I think, completing this full circle with Darius Slay, I think would be kind of a neat story. I think this might be a nice little what do you call it, push for the Lions and their fans. I think the fans would really dig if he came back.
Okay.
That's just me as a fan. I'd love to see him come back. I'd love to see him retire as a Lion.
I don't think he'd retire. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I like the idea. I've got to give it more thought. I would really have to dig in a little bit deeper. I'm trying to figure out where our roster moves are right now.
Yeah, we made a flurry.
Yeah, and I have to be. I was so busy yesterday.
We signed 2 tight ends, and both of their names are very, very similar.
Let me log into the NFL media site real quick. We signed what tight ends did we sign? I'm sorry, say it again.
That's what I'm trying to get there. I have it on my phone.
It's pretty crazy that we're down half of our offense, and it's doubtful that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to play. We'll bring in his video and a couple other videos this morning, but it's highly doubtful that he's going to play. And it really sucks because we really need him in this game. I did see something online where people were talking about, or someone wrote an article about this is the game where Al-Qadim Muhammad and Marcus Davenport need to prove themselves. This is Davenport's second game back after a major injury.
Yeah.
Why is it that they give Aiden a leash for a season and you give Davenport a leash for a game? How did make that make sense? Do you want to rush Davenport back into something and make him play a ton of snaps and potentially risk re-injury? Because we've seen re-injury this year to Terry and Arnold on multiple occasions with the shoulder. We've seen re-injury on multiple occasions with Taylor Decker. Why would we want to bring somebody in and then allow them to re-injure themselves? The player that a lot of people think can't stay healthy as it is, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. You don't just throw them in there and say, okay, go get 65% of the snaps. I don't think that makes sense. And I want to comment real quick on Aiden Hutchinson, because in the chat someone was saying, was anyone, I don't remember who said it, but they said, has anyone, given any thought to the fact that Aiden's playing 95% of the snaps and that's why he's not producing? I assume that's where you're going with that. Am I right or am I wrong? That people are thinking that he's not producing because he plays too much? Let me give you guys a sampling of what Calvin Shepard said. Okay, Calvin Shepard, although it was a little bit jokingly at the time, this was back on October 30th, he says, quote, Aiden Hutchinson needs to play 95% of the snaps and that he would like to see someone try to tell that star edge rusher to leave the field. Because every time that they've asked Aiden to come out, he doesn't come out. He doesn't want to come out. So blame Aiden. Do not blame Calvin Shepard. Do not blame Dan Campbell. Don't blame the defensive line coach. Aiden wants to stay on the field. And how many times have I spoken about that this year? Weeks ago, I started talking about this. Dude, get off the field. You're not helping us by burning yourself out in the first half.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it Aiden that said, this is a marathon, this isn't a race? Aiden said that. Well, Aiden, guess what? Every game is a marathon. It's not burn yourself out in the first half and then you're no good in the fourth quarter. Although he's had, 6 quarterback hits in the fourth quarter that did absolutely nothing to help the play. Aiden needs to adjust what he's doing, is what he needs to do. He needs to adjust what he's doing so that he's not going balls to the wall for 2.5 quarters, and then he can't do what he needs to do in the fourth quarter. That is on Aiden. He also said this. He said, we just gave him half the building, so he needs to play 95% of the snaps. That was the humorous reference to his new contract. And then he also said, I want you to come down there and try to tell Hutch to leave the field, and I want you to see how those interactions take place, emphasizing Hutchinson's competitive nature and how unlikely it is that he will be subbed out of the game. So I get it, but everyone's going to make all these excuses. You have to realize that Aiden doesn't want to come out of the game. I would love to see Aiden only play 90%, 85%. But then again, when is Aiden really needed? I don't think he's needed on second down. I really don't. I think that, on your rundowns, you get Aiden out of there because his run defense is terrible. Get him out of there on the definite rundowns. Go heavier with defensive tackles. Put in some more speed. Put in an extra linebacker. Get more coverage on the field. I think that'll help us more than anything, and then that will bring Aiden out of the game, and Aiden's just going to have to deal with it. But then again, I don't know, how many snaps does Myles Garrett play? How many snaps does Micah Parsons play?
Yeah, Parsons does not play 95% of the snaps.
I don't know what he plays.
For that last series against Detroit, they didn't even play Parsons. They wanted to rest him in case the Lions got the ball back one more time.
Let me just take a quick look at Micah Parsons. Micah on the season, 606 defensive snaps. Now, not all snaps are created equal because you don't know how many defensive snaps they had to play. I don't know how many defensive snaps there are for the team overall. One quick peek at this. Okay. Xavier McKinney has played 100% of the defensive snaps this year. That's 775. So 606. That's 78% of the snaps. That's a big difference. It's a big difference.
They keep him fresh for when they need him on 3rd and 4th downs.
And it makes sense. Let me look at the Detroit Lions snaps.
That's one thing about the Detroit media. They've been asking about that for 2 or 3 seasons now. How come Hutch is out there for every single play? Take him off for a play or two and keep him fresh. And they just do not do it.
Well, again, go back to what I just said. It's not that they don't want to. Aiden doesn't want to come off the field. That's the problem.
I like what Nick P says in the chat here. He says, I blame Shep for Aiden playing all the snaps. There should be multiple packages to get Aiden out of the game, but the defensive end talent drop off right after Aiden is huge, so he plays all the time.
I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that because there's plenty of packages that you don't really need a defensive end on that side. You can go 3 defensive tackles. And you can roll 1 defensive end. You can go 4 defensive tackles. You can go 4 linebackers and go 3 defensive tackles.
Well, and they've been doing that with Aleem McNeil.
Right. So there's plenty of packages that you can get them out of the game. They are designed that way, but they're not getting into those packages. Each team is different. So when you put a game plan in for each team, there's even offensive plays that you may use that you may not even use the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. So each game plan is specifically written for each team. It's not like we've got this defense that we made in training camp, and that's our defense every game. That's not how it works. We've got these set of plays that we feel are going to work well against this team, and this is what we're going to run. I don't know. Maybe some people don't know that.
But
Jack. So hold on. Has Jack played well this year?
Well, yeah.
Has Alex Anzalone played well this year?
Not as well. Not as well as he did last year.
Okay, but Jack's been a star, right?
Yes.
99% of the snaps.
Yep.
So Jack can do it, but Aiden can't?
I don't know.
So if we want to walk down that path, it's a slippery slope real quick.
Yeah.
Jack's a star. He's a stud. Plays great. He's playing more snaps than Aiden. Aiden this year right now, 93.1% of the snaps. So Jack's getting 5 or 6% of the snaps more than Aiden. So Aiden has 715, Jack has 760. The Lions defense all season has put up about 775, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, 780.
I'd be interested to know how many snaps Garrett's getting. Myles Garrett, the sack leader. I'm pretty sure they use him at like a 70 or 80% clip.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
All right, and then once I get this, we'll step into something else.
Sure.
644. 644
snaps for Garrett.
Yep.
And how many for Aiden?
713. What did I say? 713?
Yeah, whole bunch more.
But here's the problem. Myles Garrett's playing less. Right?
Yeah.
And he has how many sacks?
19.
19. Who's on the other side of him?
I don't even know.
Let's find out. You want to pull up the depth chart for the Browns?
I'll do that right now.
I'm curious. Now that we're on this morning, I didn't really want to step into this, but we are going to bring in 97-1 the ticket too and listen to what they had to say. They had such good takes yesterday. It's almost identical to what I said, but, is what it is. Yeah, so their overall defense, about 750 snaps, so about 25 less snaps-ish than the Lions.
So their right defensive end is Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire.
Alex Wright.
Never heard of that guy. Click on him, see what he's done. So he has 3 sacks on the season.
3 sacks. He's got an 88.7 overall grade, 82.3 run defense grade, and that's the key. That dude is a run stuffer. He has 19 solo tackles, 3 sacks, 3 assists, 1 forced fumble, 7 hurries, 10 total pressures, 19 stops. And he's only played 255 snaps, 100 of which were against the run, 149 against the pass. The rest probably special teams. But Alex Wright is not. He's a 6th rated defensive end right now. He is not some high priced, gift to Myles Garrett. Isaiah McGuire.
Yeah, the guy behind him.
Different story.
He's got 2 sacks on the year. Isaiah McGuire. 2 sacks and 1 forced fumble, 29 tackles.
And he's a 72.8 overall grade, 24 pressures on the season. He's the 32nd ranked edge defender this year out of 114. 4 quarterback hits, 17 hurries, 24 pressures, 16 stops, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 360 snaps. So I'm sorry, y'all. I just put your argument in the dirt. Cleveland Browns have 2 no-names. Both of them good football players. But they're not $40 million guys. They're not $30 million guys. They're not even $20 million guys. The money doesn't matter. What matters is the guy on the other side. Myles Garrett. That's what matters. See, y'all are thinking about it the wrong way. It's not Aiden needs help. Right? No, it's Aiden is supposed to help the other guys. That's the difference. See, Aiden is supposed to be so dominant that those guys can go win. But see, the problem is Aiden's not dominant. Those guys can't win. You see how I just flipped that all the way around 180? That's the problem. You're looking at it wrong. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to trust me. You don't even have to listen. But I think we just made the argument. The sack leader has 2 no-names on the other side. They're not begging for a $40 million guy. Nope. Myles is making them better. Who else is on?
Myles is definitely doing it all by himself.
There you go. And that's what a 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft is supposed to do. They are supposed to be a game changer.
And they have a horrible record. That team sucks. I don't care if he breaks the sack record, which he's going to do. He's got to average like 1.5 sacks for the rest of the season, and he's going to smash it, right? He could get to 30 sacks this year. He's got 5 games to do it. So 5 games, he gets 2 sacks a game. That's 10 more sacks. 10 plus 19 is 29. The record right now is 22.5. So he is going to smash the all-time sack record. And that team's maybe going to have 5 wins on the season. Maybe. Now they have Shedeur Sanders playing. Right now they're at 3-9 with 5 games to go. The best that team could do is 8-9. They cannot have a winning record. And they have the sack leader. So I am starting to come around to the idea that, Hutch just needs to step it up, need to figure out a way to get pressure. But, I think one thing that Shep could do to help him is they could do some stunts and some twists. So you take your Tyleek Williams or your Aleem McNeil and your Aiden Hutchinson, you line them up normal, and then you have them drop, switch positions, and have one go in. And you can do the same thing with a linebacker. And I just don't see us doing that much. The only time I've really seen a linebacker coming in on a stunt is when we're kind of spying the quarterback. And I don't think we really need to spy the quarterback with Dak Prescott. Now, Dak Prescott, he's got some wheels. He can run when he needs to, but I just don't think that this game is going to come down to the feet of Dak Prescott, and that's why they're going to win the game. But yeah, I really think that Hutch needs to step it up. He has not produced the big game with 3 sacks this year, or 4 sacks, 5 sacks, whatever. He hasn't had the big game. He's had a couple games with 1 or 1.5 sacks and a forced fumble. That's really nice, but we need to get more. And when you go quiet for 3 or 4 games in a row, that's where I have a problem with Hutch getting all that money, is all these quiet games where he's in for 90%, 95% of the snaps and nothing's happening. So I really want to see him get going. And this week is the perfect opportunity for it, because the starting right tackle or left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys probably is not going to play. He has not practiced all week. So this is the perfect opportunity, Hutch. You're probably going to be going up against a backup at tackle.
You selling that hopium, Eric?
So let's see it. I'm saying right now, I want to see it. Like my bold take, I've had a bold take like 3 or 4 weeks in a row where I said, oh, this is going to be Hutch's breakout game. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that today. So I'm not picking Hutch to be my bold take this week to break out this week, even though he might be going up against a backup left tackle or right tackle. I can't remember which one Guyton is.
Hey, Eric.
What's that?
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How many times has Aiden gone up against second and third fiddle?
A bunch of times and done nothing.
Huh.
Single covered and done nothing.
Tight ends can block them.
Yeah, I'm tired of this double, triple team, whatever. I go to the games. I watch. I pay attention to Hutch when he's in. I try to, as much as I can when we're out there on defense, pay attention to what he's doing. And, when he loses contain, it drives me absolute freaking insane, whether it's the running back or it's the quarterback. And like I was saying, when you stepped away for a minute, Dak Prescott, he's got some wheels. You're not going to be allowed to just pin your ears back on every play and try to go inside and get the quarterback unless you're doing a twist or a stunt. Someone has to keep contained, because even though Dak Prescott shattered his ankle and it went the wrong way, just like Hutch did, he can still run. He can still beat you with his feet. So we still have to keep contained this week. Dak Prescott has turned into more of a pocket passer now than he was earlier in his career, but he's still got those wheels. So we can't just, we got to have more of a can crushing style this week. We can't just let him break contain and run around the outside on us.
So hold on here. Let me address a couple of things. The entire defensive line is light years better than what we have here in Detroit, talking about the Browns. Really? Why? Because they have Mason Graham? Is that why you're saying that? Because you guys can't separate Saturdays from Sundays? Mason Graham.
Yeah.
Mason Graham is a 68.9 overall grade. If you care about PFF.
Yeah.
68.9.
Everybody seems to care about.
56.5 run defense grade, 67.8 pass rush. So he sucks against the run. He's marginally okay against the pass rush. He's ranked outside the top 32.
How many sacks he got?
Mason Graham?
Yeah.
1.
Let's Let's see. Oh, he's got a sack, huh? All
Got
right.
one.
I'm looking. He's
No.
got 31 tackles and a half a sack.
So PFF rounds up.
Yeah. So
I'm going to drink my muscle milk because apparently I need to suit up this week.
I'm ready. Let's go. Bad neck and all.
So hold on. Let's take a look at DJ Reader's stats for just a moment. Where is it? Here we go. He's a 65.3 overall on defense, 62.2 against the run, 52.5 tackling, 64.3 against the pass rush. Almost mirror image of what Mason Graham is doing. He has no sacks. He's not a sack guy. I think last year he had his most sacks ever in a season was 3. He has 2 quarterback hits, 13 hurries, 11 tackles, 9 assists, only 2 missed tackles on the season, 9.1 missed tackle rate. Let me go back to Mason.
Yeah, this says he's got 20 total tackles between assists and.
Oh, look at that. Mason has a 9.1 missed tackle rate, identical to DJ Reader. 3 missed tackles, 6 assists, 24 tackles overall, 2 batted balls, 24 hits, or 24 hurries, and 4 hits. I don't see how. And Ali McNeil hasn't even
just coming back.
Just coming back. When we compare, we're going to compare a Mason to Aleem, not DJ Reader.
You'd have to do it more to a Tyleek Williams
right now.
No. Yeah, he has 13 tackles total with between assists and regulars and 0 sacks. So
Tyleek.
That's what Tyleek's got so far.
Okay, but Tyleek has how many batted balls he has now? 3, 4, 5?
God,
it only says 2 in PFF, but we know he has more than that.
No, he had 3 in one game. And then he had 1 in the other game. So he's got at least 4.
Yeah.
He's got to have 4 batted balls.
So that's the problem with PFF is you can't trust it.
Yeah.
You can't trust it. Okay, so obviously we know that that's not true. The Cleveland Browns defensive line is only better because of Myles Garrett. The rest of what they have along that defensive line is no better than what we have. Yeah, it's a pretty scary defensive line because of the way that they are schemed up to do different things. Maybe it is coaching. Someone mentioned that in the chat too, that maybe it's the coaching. Maybe they're not doing enough. Now, Calvin said he's going to mix some things up this week. I'm nervous about that because this could be god awful.
Well, the one thing I was thinking about that this week after listening to Kelvin is they need to do some twists and some stunts or some delayed stunts. And that's something I haven't really seen him do much this year. I saw him, do kind of the quarterback spy thing-ish and then rush the passer with the linebacker.
Hold on. Sorry. I forgot to address one other thing.
Okay.
There was 2 more things that someone said. One, or multiple people said. One, look at the Bears. Look at what they're doing on defense. They've had a 32nd worst schedule. They've gone up against some of the worst offenses in the league.
They beat one good team.
You can't compare a first place schedule to a last place schedule and say that defense is better. It's not even comparable. And when they go against the same team, then you can compare. But when they're not going against the same team, you cannot compare. It's not apples it's apples and zebras. Okay, what was the other thing?
They want to know if our other ends are in the top 30.
I'll look in just a minute. Hold on. Can't compare a vet to a rookie. Again, you're comparing a last place schedule to a first place schedule. You're going up against first rate offensive lines, whereas the Cleveland Browns not so much. So I get it. As a casual fan, I would probably feel the same way. I have a hard time believing that everybody in this chat today would just be a casual fan. I think a lot of you are more invested, and I would hope that a lot of you spend a little bit more time doing a little bit of research, or at least that's the reason why you would come here to listen to the research and the facts. These are facts, right? With some heavy opinion rooted in fact and research. I'm not just spewing hot breath. Not just throwing spaghetti against the wall. I'm not crashing out, yelling and screaming. Right? No, we're telling you facts. We're looking up stats. We're talking through it. We're explaining how these schedules don't align. There's no way in hell I'm gonna say that the Cleveland Browns defensive line overall is better. Myles Garrett's better. And to back that up, Myles Garrett is making others better on that defensive line. Okay, the next question is, where are what now? The defensive ends for the Lions?
Yeah, the other defensive ends, Mohammed and Davenport. Where do they?
But Davenport just got you can't do that.
I know. He just came back.
He just got back.
6 weeks off. Yeah. Now
you'd have to put in a full 12 weeks of stats to even be able to compare that. So we'll take, like, let's say he plays all season. He will. He has to play all season, the rest of the season. We'll take the last 4 games and we'll compare that with someone's first 4 games, and we'll see what that looks like.
All right.
Al-Qadim Muhammad, you said?
Yeah. So Nick Gray in the chat. I'm going to tell you something right now. You can say that next week if the Lions lose, but if the Lions win, there's no way you can say that. He says from grit to shit.
Oh, I don't know about that. So Al-Qadim Muhammad is 36. Now, for most of the season, 3 weeks ago, four weeks, he was top 12.
Yeah, he was for a while.
He was top 12, and he was like 10th in sacks. He didn't fall off. The whole defense fell off.
It's just disappeared.
And Al-Qadim Muhammad, there was a period there he didn't even play. Like, but like half the game, for some odd reason, dude's playing great, and Calvin Shepard shelves him. Made no sense.
This team had a 4-win streak before the bye. This team was playing at a top 5 level before the bye on defense.
Mm-hmm.
After the bye, we've went 2-3, and our defense has fell off the map. Did people figure us out? Do we have injuries? What's going on? Why
injuries is a big part of it.
Why has this defense just fallen off the map?
Okay, here you go.
We dealt with injuries last year and we made it through. I as a casual fan, I got to ask the question, what is the problem on defense right now?
What is this? I can't stand PFF, the way they do this, and you can't read. I know I say it all the time, but you can't read the key.
Yeah.
I've wrote them so many times, like, break this up. Like, put it in 2 sections because you can't read it. So what is the third column? Is that their overall ranking? I don't think it is. It's not. Where's their overall ranking? Let me just whittle it down by sack. So sacks right now, Al-Qadim Muhammad is 19. 19 with DeMarcus Lawrence, Draymond Jones, Rashawn Gary, Jacob Martin, Josh Hines Allen, Clavon Chason, Will McDonald, the guy that I wanted the Lions to pick up, Nick Herbig. Those guys are all tied at 19 with 7 sacks apiece. Well, who's just ahead of them? Max Crosby and TJ Watt. And TJ Watt just broke JJ Watt's record. Montez Sweat, Harold Landry, Uchenna Nwasu, and Layatu Latu, and Yaya Diaby. Those guys are the next up with 8. And then it goes Jonathan Cooper sitting alone with 9. Aiden Hutchinson with 10. Really, that should be 9.5. He's tied with Tui Lopu, and then Brian Burns has 11. So the next set with 11 is Josh Sweat, Brian Burns, Will Anderson, Byron Young. And then 12.
Will Anderson and Byron Young are that duo is crazy good.
Well, Danielle Hunter.
Or Danielle Hunter.
Yeah, Danielle Hunter's got 12. And then you got Nick Bonito with 13, Micah Parsons with 14, Myles Garrett with 20. And so what's the difference? So against pass rush, Aiden Hutchinson has played the most pass rush snaps in the league.
Yep.
and he has 10 sacks. The second most snaps, Josh Hines-Allen, 7 sacks. The third most snaps, TJ Watt, 8 sacks. You go all the way down to Brian Burns, who's played 50 snaps less. He has 11 sacks. So when you look at efficiency and you go sack per snap, Aiden is way out of control. Way too many snaps. His efficiency is terrible. Micah Parsons, 14 sacks, 382 pass rush snaps. Almost 54 less than Aiden. A whole game.
Yeah.
A whole game's worth of snaps. And then if you really want to get nuts, let's go to Myles Garrett. 348. He's played 90 less snaps than Aiden. Almost 2 whole games. And he's doubled up his sack numbers. So yeah, there's an efficiency problem. And the efficiency problem is not Kelvin Shepherd. The efficiency problem is Aiden needs to get himself out of the game. When you're looking at Aiden in the game, he's just huffing and puffing. He needs to come out. He's no good to you if he's huffing and puffing. If you ever watch Aiden throughout the play, just watch him. Watch him for like 5-6 plays in a row. Watch what happens when he doesn't get an immediate tackle or he crashes in and it goes around him. He just kind of jogs. He doesn't go 100% after it. And that could be because he's tired. Could be. Not sure. Anyway, let's get off of Aiden. The Aiden conversation can go on forever. I think that people just have to begin to realize the truth.
Yeah.
When you can accept the truth, things will be a lot better for you, I promise. Truth hurts. It's hard. It's hard to swallow. Is Aiden a good player? Yes, he is. But right now, Aiden has a 41.2 tackle grade. You can't have that and be the number 2 overall selection in 2022. You need to be the best tackler on the damn team. Sorry. 24% missed tackle rate. Here, let me one more thing. Missed tackle rate. If you're to do this by snaps, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll go 200. We'll do a little more. We'll do 350. Aiden Hutchinson has the 15th most missed tackles just at 250 snaps. It's probably not a great comparison because, some of these guys are barely playing. With 250 snaps, it's not a great comparison because Aiden's got 3 times that. Let me bump it up a little bit. Let's go 450. That would put Aiden top 10. 10th most missed tackles in the league. That's probably fair. That's probably a fair comparison against all the other players that are actually playing a large majority of the snaps. That's over half the snaps that Aiden has played, 350. All right, what's up next, Eric? We'll come back in 17 seconds. We're going to restart.
All right. We're going to do Eric's 5 for Friday on a Wednesday with some good news and some bad news.
All right, once we get back. All right, it's the good, it's the bad, it's the ugly, man. What do you got going on today with 5 for 5 or 5 for
maybe
Fridays?
that's what we'll call this segment. Instead of 5 for Fridays, we're going to call this the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right.
Okay. So 5 reasons that the Dallas Cowboys could win this game.
Oh, boy.
Number 1, momentum. The Dallas Cowboys are on a 3-game winning streak. The Dallas Cowboys offense has found their rhythm. In contrast, the Lions are up and down, losing every other week since the bye, going 2-3 in that span. Football is a game of confidence, and Dallas is peaking at the right time, playing November and December football. This is when the good teams separate from the bad teams. While Detroit is trying to stop the bleeding, a confident Dak Prescott facing a slumping Lions defense is a dangerous recipe for an upset. So here's my question. Will momentum for the Cowboys be enough for them to win in Detroit?
Momentum is a big factor. When you're playing good, now let me say what Dion said, right? When you look good, you play good. Or when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good, right?
Yeah.
That's the Dion. And by the way, I listened to Dion yesterday for a hot minute, man. I feel for that dude.
They had a horrible year this year.
Yeah, but I feel for what he's going through. But he said that he's going to run again. That he wants to run again, and I hope he does.
Is he going through some cancer stuff or something?
Yeah, he's been going through some cancer stuff too.
Right.
So anyway, momentum's big, and I brought in Dion because he was the king of momentum. Like trash talking, feeling good, making others, feel like shit because you're constantly up in their business. And he was, man. He was always up in their chin. And he was wrecking guys. And when you have the momentum on your side, sometimes it helps you to play a little bit loose. I feel like the Lions right now are playing like they're trying to open up a walnut with their ass. They're too tight. They need to relax. They just need to relax. They can't go into the game fear of losing. They have to go into the game with the idea that they're going to win. And that's a totally different way to play. Like when you show up, I don't care what sport it is, but if you have it in your head that team's better than you, you're going to let them be better than you.
Yeah. But
if you have it in your head that you're better than them and you play loose, you play better. And that's how you swing the momentum in the game. And momentum killers are turnovers. Momentum killers are missed tackles that go for big yardage. Momentum killers are explosives. And the Lions have to figure that out. So their momentum that they have coming into this game can be exponentially higher if the Lions miss tackles, if the Lions turn the ball over, and if the Lions allow too many explosives. That's how the momentum goes in the dirt right away.
Speaking of turnovers, the Detroit Lions have a +5 turnover differential, and the Cowboys, let's see where they're at. Dallas is at -5. So the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys are 10 different in the turnover differential. All right, number 2, critical Lions injuries. The Tuesday injury report was alarming for the Detroit Lions. Star receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown with an ankle, Khalif Raymond with an ankle were both listed as did not practice. If St. Brown is out or severely limited, the Lions lose their engine on third down. The Cowboys defense, despite its poor ranking, can gamble. They can be more aggressive if they don't have to double team St. Brown constantly. So my question is this. The Cowboys have the 29th ranked overall defense, and they give up an average of 376.2 yards per game and 41 touchdowns. With the Cowboys having the 29th ranked defense, will the combo of JMO, Tesla, and Kennedy be enough to beat the Cowboys' poorest secondary if Khalif Raymond and Amon-Ra St. Brown cannot go this weekend?
It's kind of a long question. You're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown not being able to go. So what's really the question?
So if Amon-Ra and Khalif Raymond cannot go this weekend.
Khalif's out.
All right. Can JMO, Tesla, and Kennedy be enough for Jared Goff to win this game?
I mean, they're going to have to be. And I think that you're going to have to put Gibbs out there a little bit more in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be JMO and Gibbs in the slot, leave David behind to tote the rock the majority of the day. And then you're going to have to put, Gibbs back there. Put him in an I formation, put him in a wing T. I don't really care. But you got to get Gibbs north of the line of scrimmage, and you have to get him the football in space, and he will go make plays like a wide receiver can make plays. But he will do it with extreme speed and spatial awareness. That's why you have to put him in a position to win. So it's more than just Tesla in TK85 or Route 85. I think the TK, look, he's going to be consistent. He's going to make some plays. But the problem is, in this game, they're going to come after him. If St. Brown is not in the game, maybe they'll be stupid enough to single up Tom Kennedy. And I'm not saying that he's a world beater because he's not. But the guy seems to find ways to get open, and he doesn't drop footballs. So
he's savvy.
He's a little bit more than savvy, but I like his ability. I like the fact that the Lions can trust him. Like, there's never been a game that he's gotten in that you can't trust him to make some plays. This is going to be a game that you're going to depend on him, and that's different. When he gets a heavier target share, that's way different than just, make a play here or there. You're asking him to be in the game for the entire game. When's the last time he's played an entire game? Really played an entire game? Because last week he played, majority of the game, but he didn't play the majority of the snaps. J-Mo's going to be the hot hand early, but they're going to have a plan for that. If we've already seen that J-Mo getting bracketed, he doesn't beat it. That's a problem. Amon-Ra found ways to beat it. And you know what it is? I know this sounds so simple because it's anything but it's at the top of your route. When you go to break, I don't care which way you're breaking, that's where J-Mo needs his most work, in my opinion. What I see from J-Mo is he's not selling the route hard enough. And if you don't sell it and you're lazy about it, they're going to stick to you like flies on glue. So he has to figure out a way to get free. And to me, I want to see J-Mo run a little circle route, circle, come back, and then turn and go. I want to see a little circle route. I think with his speed and his short area burst, that's a perfect route for him to run. Get out 10 yards, come back 2, stop, plant, turn and go again, launch the ball, and go chase it down the sideline. You have to put a couple of those up this week. You have to.
Oh, yeah. We got to have
at least
30. Something that goes 30 yards through the air.
Throw it at the sideline, and so only he can make a play. If it goes out of bounds, it goes out of bounds, but he can reach up and grab it and make a play, or if the defender grabs it, they're going to go out of bounds. So, especially if they're coming across the field. That's what I want to see.
So number 3, the CD Lamb matchup against the Lions secondary has been their Achilles heel. Currently ranked 17th in pass defense at 212.5 yards a game and 25 touchdowns through the air. The Detroit Lions defense has been allowing significant yardage to wide receiver ones. CD Lamb is built to exploit this specific weakness, and I have him on my fantasy team. He's done very well for me this year. Analytics suggest that elite slot outside hybrid receivers average 100 plus yards and 1 TD per game against the Detroit Lions' current man-heavy coverage scheme. So my question is this: do you think that CeeDee Lamb will exploit the Lions secondary if we are missing not only Terry and Arnold, but also Kirby Joseph this week?
Kirby's probably not going to play. I'm less than 20% on that. So it's no different. Thomas Harper's been doing a decent job, and quite honestly, he hasn't done any worse than Kirby. He's just not getting turnovers.
Yep.
DJ Reed's going to have a big job, but I would say Rocky Sin's probably going to take on CeeDee Lamb, and I think the goal would be two safety shell, bracket CeeDee. And what I called against the Cowboys last year was you got to get up in his face, and you have to put hands on. You need to bump him at the line. You've got your shell over top. You got your bracket over top. So if he gets beyond you, you got another guy on him. You have to take that risk. Bump him at the line. If CD breaks free, you've got him covered. And they did it last year, and we shut him down. Do it again. That is the way you play CD. Who else do they have? George Pickens. Okay, right. George Pickens is a Cowboy now, right?
Yep.
Playing pretty well. how do you stop him? We don't have any big bodies out there. But DJ Reed, I feel, can do a pretty good job going up against Pickens. You know, the one thing that I haven't looked at, I'm so far behind. A weekend of shopping and doing all this stuff has got me so far behind. And I've never spent so much money on electronics, I don't think, ever in my life.
Well, I got 9 more of these to go. So.
I know. I'm trying to get through it. Hold on. I just had to look at something real quick.
All right.
DJ Reed versus George Pickens. I'm almost positive they've gone up against each other.
Yeah.
I'll keep looking. DJ Reed's going to have a big job against George Pickens. I think that's how it's going to line up. I think you're going to see Rockhound on CeeDee Lamb, and you're going to have a bracket there, and you might as well bracket George Pickens as well. And that's where I like to have that. Maybe you go to a 3-4 defense. Maybe you try not to get after Dak. You can contain him with a middle linebacker spy. You have 4 linebackers in, but instead of having a 4th linebacker, you have a 3rd safety. That's where Avonte Maddox gets inserted into the game. And now you have more speed, you have more coverage, guys that can control the run game still. We can still control the run game with 3 defensive linemen. I would use that more often than not. Shepard's probably not going to listen to me.
All right.
Nor should he, but, you know.
Number 4, interior pressure, the Quinnen Williams factor. The Cowboys' defensive interior, bolstered by Quinnen Williams, leading the league in run tackles for loss, presented a nightmare matchup for a banged-up Lions interior line. Graham Glasgow is limited, and Awasika now has a foot. They're also have Panay Sewell and Taylor Decker on the injury report. So 4 of our 5 people on the offensive line are injured this week. If Williams can collapse the pocket from the inside, Jared Goff, who struggles historically under interior pressure, will be forced into mistakes and turnovers. All right, so this is my question. Which worries you more? Pressure on Goff up the middle or from the edge rushers of the Cowboys?
Say that one more time.
So which worries you more? Pressure on Goff up the middle or from the edge rushers of the Cowboys?
Where are they getting their most pressure?
From the interior with Quinnen Williams.
Then that's where you need to put the most offensive line protection is in the middle, because the quickest way to the quarterback is to the A and the B gap. Yeah. So if they are able to get more pressure through the middle, and they have been getting more pressure through the middle, then that is where you need to commit more resources to making sure that Jared Goff has at least a little bit of time to throw the football. So Graham Glasgow should be good to go, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's good to go, Tate Rowledge has been all over the place.
He's the only one not on the injury report this week.
And Iwasaka sucks.
Yep.
So back to my earlier point. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jared Goff. Now you've disguised your protection. Where's the protection going to come from? Okay, well, that happens during the pre-snap when you try to figure out, you know, where's the mic, where's the pressure coming, where are you going to slide protection to? You don't know which one of these guys is going out for a pass. Both of them can be dynamic, catching the football out of the backfield. But now you have 2 guys back there that can help take care of the pressure that's coming up through the middle, or if it's coming from the right or the left side. You need to figure that out pre-snap. Hey, pressure's coming from the left, right? So you start calling out, I don't know their numbers, 92, 92, 92. Well, you know that they're coming from the right side of the defense, and Jahmyr Gibbs is on the left side of Jared Goff. Jared Goff stays, or Jahmyr Gibbs stays. That means David Montgomery is now hot to go. So what does he do? He chips the right side, free release. Now you just have to make a play on a linebacker. Same thing the other way. 91, 91, 91. Okay, 91's coming in. David Montgomery stays. He helps block. Or if they're bringing interior pressure with a linebacker, he has to make a decision, picks up the middle. Jameer goes out, chips, free release. Use a little bit more screen game, but that's how you get these guys moving. I don't know. It's too simple-minded conversation for me because I'm not using all the lingo that they would be using.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to keep it in layman's terms too to make it understandable. That's the simple way of looking at it. There's obviously a lot more that is involved here. We don't have a tight end that can block. We don't.
We just don't have a tight end. Shane Zylstra
Period.
is not going to be back for this game, and we have two guys, Rishi and Rushi, and
who?
Yeah,
Mario
exactly.
and Luigi?
Yeah,
That's what I just heard. Mario and Luigi.
Yeah, their last names Rucci and Ricci. Isn't that
Rucci and Rishi?
Yeah, how do you get two tight ends with the basically the same last name?
What are we doing?
Yeah, and we picked up the one from the Miami Dolphins.
So we're just gonna throw out banana peels everywhere, huh?
But you know
Is
what?
that the plan?
Hey, Mahogany, he's going to be back this season, just not for this game. He was working with a trainer on the sideline. I saw a video of him hopping on one leg, hopping on the other leg, doing a bunch of drills. He's looking really good. And then, the wild card is Miles Frazier. Is he ready to play? Is he not ready to play? I just don't know. All right. So number 5. We always play Dallas, and it's always a revenge game for us, with the report gate and all that stuff. So we put up 47 points on these guys last year, and we pushed them in the dirt. So this has a little bit of revenge factor for these guys this year. They are the road underdog. And the Cowboys have an opportunistic defense ranked high in turnover differential during this 3-game win streak, and only need a few stops to steal this game. A 3-point spread suggests a coin flip. So this is my question. Do you feel this game should be a pick'em? If not, what do you think an appropriate point spread should be for this game?
Point spread?
Yeah,
not the over under.
No, so like who should be favored in this game, and how much should they be favored by?
So right
Or
now
is
it's the Lions by what, 3.5?
3.5. So this is basically a pick'em. This is the
So here's how that works, just in case people don't know this. The home team gets 3 points.
Exactly.
So that take away the 3 points. That means that the Lions are half a point favorite.
Yeah.
It's a pick'em. It's what it is. The Lions really aren't favored. They're just, like I said, if you have $5 to spare, put it all on the Cowboys. Right?
Well,
and put it on the Cowboys -7. Okay? Because then you might get some positive points, and that'll make Vegas bone it in. Hey.
Oh, you will. Even the money line right now.
Win.
So Dallas money line right now is plus 142. Okay. And as of right now, 56% of bets are on Dallas and 44% are on Detroit. So this is the first time this year where it's been a big, massive amount of money bet on the opposite team compared to us. It's usually us 90%, 95%, 98%. And Vegas was losing too much money with all these Lions fans betting on the Lions every week, 15-2. They lost 15 out of 17 weeks.
So,
all right.
Yeah, confidence has changed. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So you basically think it's a pick'em then?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So 5 reasons why the Lions will win now. Let's get into some positive stuff here. The Lions, they must exploit the Cowboys on the perimeter. With the receiving core banged up for this game, all analytics and everything, they just scream for a massive workload for Jahmyr Gibbs. Whether that's wide as a wide receiver or in the backfield, Gibbs is going to get the ball, and he's going to get the ball a ton. All right. While Dallas is shored up its interior run defense with Quentin Williams, they remain vulnerable on the perimeter. Gibbs ranks in the 98th percentile for speed at the line of scrimmage, and the Cowboys linebackers rank in the bottom third of the league in time to tackle on outside runs. So perfect, right? Let's run it to the outside with Gibbs. Let's do some toss sweeps. Let's do some jet sweeps. Let's get Gibbs and JMO involved in that end around game, right? Expect Dan Campbell to use Gibbs not just as a runner, but as the primary X receiver in the passing game. With St. Brown possibly out, Gibbs' target share is projected to jump from 15% to nearly 25%. He is the mismatch nightmare that the Dallas Cowboys cannot simulate in practice on a short week. So this is my question. I truly believe this is set up to be Gibbs' biggest game of the season. Do you think Gibbs could have his best output of 2025 versus the Cowboys' 20th ranked defense that gives up an average of 124.7 yards per game and 13 touchdowns on the ground this year?
So your question is, do I think that he is going to have a big game?
That this could be his best game of the season?
No.
No?
He's already had his best game of the season.
You don't think he can top it?
Nope.
With more touches and being a wide receiver more?
Okay, so on the ground or through the air or combo?
Both. All combo all
Okay,
together.
so all-purpose yards?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. All-purpose yards and touchdowns.
Yeah, no. Oh, look, I think they're going to try to go to him a lot, but I also feel like the Cowboys know that, and they're going to have a plan for that. Their goal in this game is to take away JMO and to take away Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anybody else to beat him that way, right? You have to rely on Tesla, who's a rookie. You have to rely on TK85, who's small, doesn't play a ton. He's not going to burn you. Right. And then you have David Montgomery, who's the only other viable weapon that the Lions have on the offense right now. We're missing half our offense. And so it's a lot easier to defend that team when you're missing your blockers, you're missing your playmakers, you're missing cohesion. I think that the Lions are potentially going to struggle in this game. And I'm hoping that they win. I guess we'll see what I say later. I'm hoping that they're going to win. But no, I don't see Jahmyr Gibbs having his best game ever. This season or ever, period.
All right. So, Isaac Tesla, the touchdown machine, right?
God.
Well, Tim Patrick was traded to Jacksonville back in August, and rookie Isaac Tesla, who cost us 3 third-round picks, is quietly, and when I say quietly, I mean quietly, becoming one of the most efficient weapons in the NFL. And I'm going to tell you why. And he is the key to Detroit's next man up victory this week versus the Dallas Cowboys. So here's the stat on Isaac Tesla. Tesla is currently a statistical anomaly in the best way possible. He has 3 touchdowns on just 6 receptions this season. So when Goff actually looks his way, it works. It is specifically in high leverage, must-have situations like the red zone or third down where we need to try to get him the ball. So Goff is starting to build a little trust with Tesla. In week 13 against the Packers, Tesla stepped up with a critical touchdown, and Goff has shown he trusts Tesla's 6'4" frame and catch radius in tight window throws. While the Cowboys focus their coverage on Jamison Williams, Tesla will be the one isolated on smaller corners in the red zone. So here's my question. Will this finally be the breakout game for Isaac Tesla that all the fans have been clamoring for? Because if there was ever a game for him to have a breakout game, I think this is it.
Look, he's going to be targeted more. He has to be. Breakout game, God, I hope so. But we really just need him to be complimentary. That's what we need him to be. We need him to compliment JMO. The Lions need to set this up so that maybe in the beginning of the game, your focus would be Tesla. That's what I would do. Because when you go into this game, what's everyone thinking right now? JMO, Gibbs. JMO, Gibbs. JMO, Gibbs. Bonnie, Monty. JMO, Gibbs, Monty. That's what they're thinking.
Yep.
So if you come into this game and you say, okay, I'm going to catch you with your pants down a little bit, and we'll see who's on Tesla to start the game. I'm going to go to Tesla early. We'll let J-Mo be the decoy. So what does that do for Jared Goff? That speeds up Jared Goff's progressions. So now he's not even focused on J-Mo. It's a quick look, okay, and then a right to Tesla. Make him your second look. Gibbs can be number 3, right? Depending on the play situation, of course. Depending on the protections and everything else. I would get to Tesla early, pepper him, get him some catches, right? And then you're going to see the defense kind of switch a little bit. They're going to start to cover Tesla more, or they won't. And if they don't have any in-game adjustment, now Tesla can get rolling, and then you introduce Gibbs and Monty, and you start switching it up. You become a mixologist. You run it with Demo. Maybe you don't even get Gibbs and J-Mo involved in the first quarter. Lions fans are going to lose their shit when that happens, but it would be done by design. As long as it's working with Tesla and working with David Montgomery, then in the second quarter, you flip it. Now you start painting J-Mo and you start getting Gibbs involved. So then what happens by the end of the second quarter? They don't have a clue as to where you're going now. That is how an offensive mind is supposed to design a game plan. You do what they're least expecting you to do. They're expecting you to go at Gibbs, and they're expecting you to go at J-Mo. So don't go there. Put Tesla in a situation to win, and put Demo in a situation to win. Don't hand the ball off 3 times in a row to Demo or Gibbs. Pass on first down to Tesla and see what happens. If it works, do it again. If it works, do it again. Until they do something to stop you, keep on doing it. And then you start switching it up and go into a normal rhythm. I hate it when they design these games with 15 plays and they just go from play to play to play to play to play, and whatever happens, happens. That's where you get the 3 and outs. That's not how I would run a game. Now, I'm nowhere near an offensive coordinator's mind. But from a simplistic standpoint, that's how I would view it, and that's how I would set it up. And so if I went to my offensive coordinator and I said, this is how I would set it up, now use your mind to set it up that way. And then I want to see the plan, and then we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to go run it through practice. See if our own defense can't catch it. That's what I would do.
Yep. All right. So my number 3 reason why the Detroit Lions are going to win this game tomorrow. The narrative that Jared Goff needs St. Brown, it absolutely ignores his elite ability to distribute the ball to whoever is on the field. Okay. There have been games where Jared Goff's thrown passes to 10 or more different players in a game. Jared Goff currently holds a 69.8 adjusted completion rate, and he ranks 3rd in the NFL in yards generated from yards after the catch. He doesn't need to throw 50-yard bombs to win. He needs to get the ball into the hands of Gibbs, J-Mo, Tom Kennedy, and Isaac Tesla quickly. Okay? Quick throws. The Cowboys secondary plays loose coverage, allowing the 4th most yak in the league, meaning Goff can dink and dunk his way to 300 yards simply by letting his playmakers run. The Cowboys have the 30th ranked passing defense, giving up 251.5 yards per game and 28 touchdowns. And the Lions have now the number 3 scoring offense in the league. Okay, so this is my question. How many yards will Goff rack up versus the Cowboys with or without Amon-Ra St. Brown tomorrow?
One more time on that.
So how many yards do you think Goff's going to get tomorrow, whether he has St. Brown or not?
Hold on. Probably should have looked at your
my sheet.
Yeah, so that I could actually done so. I was just so busy.
I'm just asking for a guess. What do you think? Do you think he's going to get 300 or more yards? No. Okay.
No. Okay, so if you want to go over under on 300, I would say it's going to be the under. I don't think it's needed at all. When's the last time Jared Goff has thrown for 300?
Last week.
Okay. How many times has he thrown for 300 this year?
I'm not sure.
Twice.
Ah, okay.
Okay. And against the Packers, he had 225.
Oh, I thought he had 300.
No, I'm sorry. Against the Packers, he had 256. The Giants, 279. The Eagles, 255. The Commanders, 320. That was the last time he threw for 300.
Okay.
284 versus the Vikings, 241 versus the Bucks, 203 versus the Chiefs, 258, 168, 202, 334, 225. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say he's going to be a lot closer to 230 than he would be north of 230. That doesn't mean it's a bad game. 230 is plenty of yards through the air.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a ton of explosives with anybody else but JMO or Gibbs if they actually put Gibbs in the slot. I've yet to see him really do it. And that's why I'm so hesitant on it. So I would say he's in that 230 range.
Okay. So number 4, this is my next reason why maybe the Lions just might pull this off. Can the Detroit Lions force the Cowboys to be one-dimensional? And what do I mean by that? The Lions' path to victory is ensuring that Dak Prescott has to win the game entirely with his arm. So our defensive rank, the Lions are on defense, rank 11th in rushing defense, allowing just 103.7 yards per game. And by shutting down the Cowboys' run game early, which averages 3.9 yards per carry versus top-tier fronts, Detroit can pin their ears back. This neutralizes the play-action pass for Dak Prescott, his favorite weapon, and it forces him into obvious passing situations where the Lions defense can pin their ears back and get after the passer. I also think that some twists with an edge, an interior rusher, or linebacker could really work after stopping the run for a little while. So this is my question. Can the Lions defense make the Dallas offense one-dimensional? Can we shut down the run game versus Dallas?
Can we? Yes, we can.
Okay.
We have to. We have to. You still have 5 bold takes, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And this is my 5th why the Lions will win for 5 for Friday. This is a whole bunch of stuff. So number 5. Whoa. Let's see if I don't hit the thing here. Where the heck did it go?
So just so you know, the Dallas Cowboys are allowing 252 yards per game.
Yep.
On average. The week before, 243. The last 3, 243. The last one, 243. At home, they're 282, and away, they're 221. So they're much better on the road than they are at home.
Versus the pass?
Yeah, they're much better at home. Or, I'm sorry, they're much better on the road.
All right, so number 5, with Ode Amon-Ra, Khalif Raymond, and Sam Laporta, the Cowboys, they have no tape on what the Lions' offense will actually look like. And this could be an advantage. Analytics show that the Detroit Lions average a plus 0.45 EPA, expected points added, per play when using unique personnel groupings like 2 running backs with Gibbs and Montgomery or 3 tight ends. They will not be doing 3 tight ends this weekend. The Cowboys, they're preparing for a standard Lions attack. Instead, they will likely see a completely new offense centered around misdirection, wheel routes for Gibbs, and isolation plays for Tesla. Dallas's defense, which relies on simple execution, often struggles to adjust mid-games to things they have not seen. So this is my question. Could you see Dan Campbell pulling out all the stops and tricks on offense, or will he stick to what they have been doing the past couple of weeks?
It's kind of a loaded question. Pull all the stops out, meaning what?
Like, is he going to pull the tricks out of the bag? Is he going to put some new formations in that nobody's seen? Is he going to do something new, or is he just going to stick to what he's been doing?
So it's kind of
he's doing both the head coach and the offensive coordinator all at the same time. It's a lot to put on his plate.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, it's kind of hard to do anything really new. Trick plays, yeah, we haven't done a ton. There could be one. Look, I want to see him win the game. I don't want to see any tricks. I think that the tricks come out when you absolutely need something, or you're way ahead and you just want to add that extra touchdown or field goal or whatever you need to put it, into a two possession game. I don't want to see any trick plays. I don't. I want to lean on them if you absolutely need something in this game. Or like I just said, if you need to make it a 2-possession game. So I don't think he can do much new right now. Right now, we don't even know what our identity is because nothing's working. Nothing's working. So you have to go back to the beginning of the season and kind of reevaluate what have you done so far, what has been working. Obviously, you have to look at what the Cowboys are doing. What are they allowing? Where are they weak? Where are they strong? And then you have to identify a plan that takes advantage of their weaknesses. So whether that's doing something new or not, I don't know that that's really the answer. I think it's going to be attacking their weakness, which where is the Cowboys' weakness right now? Like, where are they the weakest? Where are they the most banged up on defense?
Probably their secondary.
And I would say passing the football more than 30 times in this game could be a problem because Jared Goff may or may not have enough time. If he's able to get time, then passing the football, you won't need to pass it a bunch because you'll be completing some good explosive passes. But then again, we don't have the horses, man. We just don't. We don't have Sam Laporta on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 5. We don't. We don't have Brock Wright blocking downfield for Jahmyr Gibbs. We don't have these guys getting into the second level, opening up space for these guys to run. We just don't. And I think dinking and dunking your way down the field is the wrong answer too. You got to spread these guys out. Here's what I'll say. If we're going to do something new, if Dan has heard any of us at all, it's get rid of the tight formations. Those are good to use against very specific opponents and defenses that do certain things. In this game, spread them out. Get them wide. Get them horizontal. If you can do that, I think that helps open up JMO. That will help open up Gibbs out of the backfield on some of the real wheel routes that I heard you mention earlier. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So you ready for 5 bold takes?
Hold on.
Or you got something else you want to get to?
Give me 1 second. So I went back and I looked at, and I'm looking at it now. It's why I'm kind of half paying attention. I'm trying to find where DJ Reed has gone up against Pickens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go all the way back to 2022. Where is it? 2022. Week. Week 6. No. I'm going to have to keep looking.
Okay.
But in 2022, the Jets and the Steelers played. Oh, here we go. Or is that the Eagles or the Jets? I can't see. No, that's definitely the Eagles. Go back to week 4. Here we go. Okay. So you have to go all the way back to 2022. And this is where DJ Reed is actually on the field against Pickens, because in 2024, you remember, Reed was injured after week 4. He had a hamstring injury. Kind of weird, isn't it, that he re-injured that hamstring this year? I don't know if any of us caught that. I don't think any of us did. Anyone that does any content, period, didn't catch the fact that DJ Reed had a hamstring injury last season in week 4. So is this hamstring going to be a problem for him moving forward? Did we just overpay for a guy that has hamstring issues? Hamstrings are like the death of corners. I'm a little bit concerned about that. But what I am trying to do is I'm trying to isolate some plays here and take a look at what he is doing. Man, that was a hell of a play. Wasn't by DJ Reed, though. what he is doing against George Pickens in this game, my concern is they're going to try to stretch DJ Reed out. And if they do that, his hamstring could be in trouble. If they try to get him long, sprinting downfield, I'm more concerned about that. And George Pickens likes to fly.
Yeah.
But man, DJ Reed was a much different player back in 22, just watching some of these plays. And immediately what he does is he goes up on the line, and when Pickens starts to take off in his route, he will hot jab an inside or an outside shoulder pad. What does that do? That gets the receiver off the route. And that's exactly what I'm saying that you want to do against the Cowboys. You come up and you jam them. You don't have to jam them with two hands. You could at least just hit them with, a left or a right on the shoulder pad, and you get them off their route a little bit. Just that little bit of hesitation, quarter second, quarterback may not be able to come back to you. So if you do that with CeeDee Lamb, I think that would be a huge benefit to this defense again this season is use a little bit of the jam technique. I'm going to watch this game tape all day, and I'll hopefully be able to come back tonight and do something with Gripes and Hype. I'm going to try to get it done tonight. Anyway, go ahead. Let me get 5 bold takes lined up here.
Yep.
Give us just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Or 30 seconds or so-ish.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5.
And none of my stuff's working today, and I don't know why.
Throwing.
It's kind of weird.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jameer Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap back, looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Nice job.
All right, Eric has 5 bold takes.
All right, you guys ready for this? 5 bold takes on a Wednesday. Number 1, Isaac Tesla will have his best game as a pro with 5 catches for 60 yards and a 17-yard touchdown. That's number 1. Number 2, Goff will have his most passing yards in a game this season and will not take a sack, even with 4 of 5 of the Detroit Lions offensive linemen on the injury report. Number 3, Tom Kennedy will score a touchdown and J-Mo will not score a touchdown. Number 4, the Lions defense or special teams will score a touchdown. Number 5, there will be a trick play thrown to Dan Skipper. Okay. And number 6 kind of goes with number 5. Skipper will report on every offensive play the entire game to make the crowd cheer every single time, even though they don't need to. All right. So my prediction is a high-flying, high-scoring game with not many sacks on either side. Lots of long bombs from both QBs and lots of TDs on both sides. This one, the Lions win in a thriller, 45-41, and that's my bold takes for the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday, December 5th or 4th. It's headline time.
I don't look. Everything is just all screwed up, man. I give up. I give up. Okay, so you got a high scoring game.
Yes, I'm thinking this is going to be a shootout.
Yeah, more like a shit
We're
show.
not going to be able to stop their wide receivers. They're not going to be able to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. It's a 1-for-1. It is going to be a close, heart attack, thrilling win at the end. It is going to be a hard-fought game. There's going to be some super long field goals by both teams in this. This is going to be, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting the over on this one all day long.
So
I don't see a gritty, grimy ground and pound on each side. I just don't see it. Both these secondaries are banged up. Both these secondaries are giving up a bunch of stuff through the air. That's just what I see happening.
So I got to go in and watch some tape today. I'm going to watch a little bit of DJ Reed on George Pickens so I can comment later. I'll definitely get some videos out today once I get this new camera set up. And then I really want to take a look at their corners because two things. One, they cut Kyer Elam, which I was a little taken aback by that. I did not expect Kyer Elam to be that bad. I don't know if he's been picked up by anybody. That could be a player to look at. Again, I have no clue if he's been picked up. But since cutting him, the Cowboys turned to Siobhan Revel. And he's played 62 coverage snaps in the last 2 games. He's been targeted 6 times in those wins for the Cowboys, but a target rate of just 9.7%. He's allowed 5 completions for 61 yards. That's 1 yards per coverage snap. The NFL average is 0.9. So to me, I feel like Siobhan Revel is a target in this game. If he's only had 62 coverage snaps and he is allowing more than the league average yards per coverage snap, that's a good thing for the Lions. And he's only been targeted 6 times, and I don't understand why. So I need to figure out, what is he doing on tape? Is he sticky? Or is he often going up against a lower progression, in the route trees? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Because usually I do that stuff tonight for tomorrow. And then they have Turquez Bridges, who's been targeted at a league high 23.9% rate in coverage based on a minimum 100 coverage snaps against all other corners this year. He's allowed 2.3 yards per coverage snap, which is almost 3 times the league average. The second highest mark among the same group of players. And in week 13 against the Chiefs, he was targeted on 3 of his 11 coverage snaps, allowing 49 yards and a touchdown on 3 catches. So when Bridges is in, that's who you're targeting. At a minimum, whenever he is in, because he's only been in on 11 coverage snaps.
Mm-hmm.
But when he is in, you have to go at him. And how do you go at him? I have to figure out where he's lining up. I don't know if he's lining up in the slot, if he's lining up outside. I have no idea. But if he's lining up in the slot, kill. There goes Gibbs. And you put him up in the slot on Bridges. That is what you do. In the minute that happens, that's where I see Gibbs having a better day against somebody like that has not played well, who also has not played a ton. Same thing for Siobhan Revel. Wherever he's lined up, it's send the guy out there to get up over him. That's your goal. Isolate these 2 players on the Dallas's defense with your best player that can go make a play. Now, the Cowboys may react to that, and they may immediately put in a bracket, drop somebody else behind, these guys. But on some plays, you can't do that. The problem is the Lions don't have a full complement of offensive weapons, which means they're not going to respect us at all. The Cowboys have zero respect for the Lions offense right now because we do not have Sam Laporta. No Sam, I do not have. We don't have Brock Wright. We don't have Amon-Ra St. Brown, at least right now. If Amon-Ra St. Brown makes an appearance in this game, that changes things. Decoy for Amon-Ra St. Brown. If Amon-Ra plays, I don't expect a big game. I expect him to be a decoy. Just run routes and block. That's it. Don't need you to do much. Because then they're going to have to give you a little bit of respect. The Cowboys defense have also blitzed in 27.9% of their opposing dropbacks this season, which is slightly below the league average of 28.5%. And that's not a ton compared to what other teams have done. And the Lions, I think we're pretty close to that too. I don't have that stat in front of me. But when they do blitz, they've generated pressure on 45.8% of their blitzes. That is where Jared Goff has his problem. The 7th highest rate in the NFL right now for the Cowboys have allowed a league high 130.2 passer rating, though. They've yielded 11 touchdowns without intercepting a pass, even though they've generated pressure at the 7th highest rate in the league. So that tells me maybe a couple of things here. One, not all pressures are created equal. I think we've had that conversation many times. That even though you're getting pressure, it could be pressure late. It could be pressure that really doesn't affect the play a whole lot. What I don't like is I don't like Goff getting blitzed and then pressure. Goff getting blitzed, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Goff getting blitzed with pressure, if he's throwing an 80% passer rating, it is now 40. It cuts in half. That's what we need to watch for. The blitz and actually getting pressure. And that's where having two backs is going to help. One goes out, one stays back. You need to keep your tight ends in, but you need to get some guys out wide. You have to stretch them. The Cowboys have also played zone on 80.2% of snaps this season, which is the 6th highest rate in the league. And they've allowed 7.1 yards per play when they do, which is the 3rd most among any defense. They've also allowed a 49.6% success rate in zone coverage, which is also the 5th highest rate in the league. The one thing that we used to love about this Lions offense is that no matter if you ran man or zone, we had a plan. Right? If we had man, your man beater, Amon-Ra St. Brown, was going to have a good day. If you ran zone, Jamison Williams, Sam Laporta, we're going to have a good day. And so are the running backs. We don't have, like I said earlier, a full complement of an offense. So it's kind of hard to look at this and say, man, I know exactly what the Lions are going to do in this game. I know exactly where we're going to have success in this game. I know that the Lions are going to win this game. I don't have that confidence because we don't have the guys. Jahmyr Gibbs has also recorded just 21.7% of his total carries this season out of shotgun formations. It's the 14th lowest rate in the league, and just over 10% lower than the league average of 32.9%. Despite the limited carries, though, Gibbs has recorded 290 rushing yards from shotgun, 8th most in the league, and a plus 122 rushing yards over expected. That's insane. He also trails only Javonte Williams, who has plus 144 in the season. Gibbs has also recorded a positive or position high 7.6 yards per carry out of the shotgun. Hello? What does that mean? I don't want
under center.
I don't want to see Jared Goff under center. Period. Don't want to see. Nope. Well, I just told you why. But here's what happens. When you start handing the ball off in shotgun, eventually the defense is going to know, oh, you're in shotgun, you're handing the ball off. So you have to mix it up a little bit. But what this just told you is that when Jared Goff is in shotgun and we hand the ball off, that Jahmyr Gibbs is the 2nd most deadly running back in the league. plus 122 over expected. The only running back that is better is Javonte Williams. He has 290 rushing yards from shotgun, which is the 8th most in the league. So clearly the Lions are better running the ball out of shotgun than they are running the ball under center. But what does that do for the Lions offense? That gives the Cowboys defense a little bit of a fit, because now you're in shotgun, and if you have two backs, you have multiple options with guys that can get out of the backfield, they can run routes, number one. Number two, you have two backs that you can hand the ball off to. Number three, you could send Monty either in motion or as a lead blocker and hand it off to Gibbs. And now you've got a blocker that can get you up into the second level that has speed. I like that idea. But Gibbs or Jared Goff can also drop back. Gibbs can then run a route, and David Montgomery can go and pick up the blitz wherever it's coming. So I want to see Jared Goff in shotgun 80% of plays in this game.
Wow.
80%. That's where I want to see him. So if I'm going to do my bold takes, I mean, I'm giving you some of the keys to the game right now. These aren't necessarily bold takes. Let's get into some bold takes. I don't know that mine are really bold. You know how I operate. It's more so it's more so
I wanted to come
reality.
But I wanted to come up with some crazy ones because it's supposed to be bold takes. You know, what am I batting over the last 4 or 5 weeks since we started doing this? 1 a week, 2 a week.
Yeah,
that actually come through.
So
I mean,
I get a few. Bold. I get a few.
Yeah, but that for me, that's why they're bold. I want them to be things that just realistically, it's quite a long way to go. So that's why I'm doing it, because every once in a while I'm going to get one of them right. I'd rather have. I don't mind getting more wrong than I get right on this, because these are crazy bold takes to me.
All right, here we go. All right, Will has 5 bold takes. Eric, you're supposed to say it. I'm not supposed to say it. All right, here we go. I got some bold takes too. They're not super bold, but they could be super bad. They could be super bad. Let's start with an easy one. Earlier, we were talking about Jared Goff, and I have the belief that Jared Goff doesn't need to throw for more than 230 yards in this game. Based on what the Cowboys have been doing this season, they're not allowing quarterbacks to throw for more than 221 when they're on the road. It kind of fits. Putting Jared Goff at that 230 mark, I think without St. Brown, without Sam Laporta, without Brock Wright, we're limping, right? And I don't see where he's going to be able to do a whole lot. However, based on what I just read, and given the fact that they have 2 corners in Siobhan Revel and then Terquez Bridges, that are not good, and when targeted, give up some yardage, Jared Goff, if the Lions put him in a position to win, and he's able to change up the play and call some hot routes, when both of those guys get inserted into the game, that's where you need to get the ball downfield. So I'm going to give Goff 275 in this game with 2 TDs. Even without Sam Laporta and St. Brown, Goff has averaged about 250 yards per game and around a 70% completion rate. So he's not playing terribly, even though he's without a lot of his weapons. I think that Jameson Williams is going to have to step up in this game, but I also believe that Isaac Tisla is going to have to be utilized early and often to try to set the tone and to get the Cowboys kind of on their heels. Then Jameson Williams. So for bold take number 2, is J-Mo going to go for 150 in this game? Last game, he put up 144, but it didn't help us win. What is J-Mo going to have to do in this game to help the Lions win? I'm going to put him at 100 plus in this game. I'm going to give him a TD. And maybe that's not so bold, but I think it is a little bit bold when you think that maybe the Lions might try to run the ball a little bit more in this game. And that Jahmyr Gibbs may be the primary weapon that you utilize in this game. So bold take number 2, Jameson Williams, 100 plus and 1 TD on the day. Bold take number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have to be utilized early and often as well. But I don't think it's going to be from the same misused opportunities that we've seen. I think that you have to put Jahmyr Gibbs out in the slot a little bit more. We need to see 2 back sets more often in this game when in shotgun. Gibbs averages 84.9 rushing yards per game at 5.8 yards per carry. So the bold take is not really how many yards per game or how many yards in the game. I'm going to give Jahmyr Gibbs a 9-yard average in this game. 9-yard average against the Cowboys. Probably one of the biggest and best bold takes of the day is this, number 4. Detroit is going to convert on 2+ fourth downs, which means Dan Gamble is going to be back in the game. I don't want to see Dan Gamble at the 30 or the 40. It has to be north of the 50. The Lions have failed on 7 straight 4th down attempts. But Dan Campbell's aggressiveness just won't stop. You can't put a lid. You can't put a lid on it. You can't. But against the Cowboys, whose defense is ranked 31st in points allowed, 28.5 per game, Detroit's going to have to gamble to sustain some drives. 2+ 4th down conversions for the Lions against the Cowboys. And then probably that's not really a bold take, but it's how many points will the Lions score? We are missing several key components of this offense. But I'm still going to give the Lions 27+ points in this game. The Lions have averaged 29.2 points per game, 4th in the league this year. And even with all the injuries and with Dallas's defense being a bit leaky, I think the Lions are not going to need to score a ton to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be a shootout. So I'm going to give the Lions 27+. Those are my 5 boldish takes for the offense. Now for the defense. Aiden Hutchinson. Man, do I got a lot to say about Aiden Hutchinson. But I think it comes rooted in fact and stats and analytics, and I know it's not the most sexy takes in the world, but sometimes facts are just that. They're facts. Aiden has not been able to win one-on-ones. When singled up, Aiden is barely beating tight ends. This has to be a game, and even though Eric said it earlier, he's got an opportunity. He has an opportunity to go up against a second-rate tackle again. We need to see Aiden become Aiden again. So I'm going to give him 2 sacks in this game, and that's going to help get this defense rolling. Jack Campbell, he's going to lead the Lions for bold take number 2 on the defense. Jack is going to lead the Lions with 12+ tackles. Campbell already has 117 tackles, team leader. And with him being a downhill style of a linebacker who's been playing extremely well this season, he's going to be heavily involved in stopping the run game against the Cowboys. So 12 tackles for Jack. And I'm going to give you a third one here for the Lions on defense. The Cowboys have averaged 121 rushing yards per game so far. The Lions have allowed 103.7 rushing yards per game. 11th best in the league. But in this game, they're going to keep the Dallas Cowboys under 90. Between all running backs, quarterbacks, you name it, the Cowboys won't have more than 90 rushing yards in this game. Dallas is going to be limited to 24 points. Lions win by 3, 27-24. That is my call. What do you think?
So a nice low-scoring game.
It's not really low. It's still 51 points.
Let's see. What's the over-under on this game? I'm going to look right now. Get the old DraftKings open here. So the over-under on tomorrow's game is 54.5.
I'm taking
So
the under.
You think it's going to go under? I think it's going to go way over. Telling you right now, bet the over.
Hold on. What is this? Rockin' Rob says, I heard how you say out. You say it as oot. So obviously, I know you're from Canada.
No,
So-
I am not from Canada.
So quit talking about American football. Stick to hockey. So hey, Rockin' Rob, let me do you a favor, buddy.
He's talking about how I say out. I go outside.
He's
I
from
rock the
Michigan.
roof. Yeah.
He's from the UP.
I don't watch hockey at all.
Maybe you need a geography lesson. They're called the Yoopers, eh? They're
Yeah,
very close to Canada. They speak with a little bit of a dialect.
I'm half Finnish. My ancestors came from Finland, so if I have a little bit of their accent still, that's what it's from.
But the one thing that I'm not going to allow, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about, is I'm not going to allow people to take shots at Eric or me or the mods or anybody else. So let me help you with something, Rock and Rob. You won't have to worry about watching the channel anymore.
There you go.
Sorry, bud.
Oh man. Yeah, let's keep it nice. This whole week, okay, since we lost that game to the Packers, our fan base has devoured itself on social media.
Yeah.
SOL has come out of the woodwork, and all the bandwagon fans have just left the station. They're all jumping off that train. They're going their own way. They're saying goodbye on their way out. I don't know why they do. Just effing leave. I don't care. I'm with this team through thick and thin. Every week when we went 0-16, I went to my buddy Bob's house with my buddy Rafe, and we watched every single Lions game. And I even went to Ford Field and watched one of those games that season.
Mm-hmm.
Every single game, I predicted a win. Every single game, I cheered my guts out for my Detroit Lions. Every single game, I was disappointed. I did not want my team to go 0-16. And something most people don't know about me is when the Detroit Lions lose, I am pissy. And I'm in an absolute horrible mood for the entire week. I'm not a very pleasant person to be around. When the Lions are winning and going 15-2, man, I'm the happiest dude in the world, and I don't care if we lose a couple games, right? And even the divisional game against Washington, it was disappointing, but I took it on the chin. It was a pretty easy. That was easy because
what did you take on the chin?
Losing in the divisional round to the Washington Commanders.
Oh, I thought you said chestnuts or something.
No, I just, if I can go through 0-16,
you missed it,
and I can say, hey, in every preseason, I would say we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to make it. I'm always the optimistic fan, and just this week has shown me that a lot of these so-called fans, I mean, they get mad because all they want to do is criticize, but they never come up with any answer, any feasible answers. They're, Brad should have done this. Dan should have done this. Well, give me a reasonable answer for something that could have plausibly been done then, or not even what they should have done. Tell me what they should do going into the future. Okay. Well, how can they fix it right now? Well, they can't. When you have injuries and have things happen the way it's happened this year, you tell me how they're supposed to fix it right now. Don't give me he did this in the draft. He did that in the draft. He's been he's put on a master class with the draft, and no GM is going to get every draft correct. You have needs that you have to address in the draft. And listen, this whole Ragnow fiasco, I think
that's not Brad, though. Like, that's not Brad's fault.
No. But like the whole, I guess I'm going all over the place. I'm being a squirrel. The whole Ragnow coming back, not coming back thing, that gave the fan base so much hope, because that would fix our O-line, like that. Just instant fix to the O-line.
We thought, we would hope.
We hoped, and it didn't happen. And I don't think he's coming back next year. I think he's done. And we're going to have to draft So you're going to have to rely on Brad to draft a center, to draft a tackle, because we're going to need a left tackle sooner or later, or a right tackle, and you move Panay. But I don't think they're ever going to move Panay. I think they're going to keep him on the right, and we'll draft a new left tackle eventually. But this fan base, stop eating each other alive, man. Just, you can have your opinions and you can be mad. Just don't take it out on everybody else. And like, I've never seen a week in the chat where we've had to time out so many people. We've had to get rid of people in the chat that are just being plain mean. And I have not seen this ever in a week in the 2 years I've been doing this. So have some optimism. I am the ever optimist. And my friends used to make fun of me every week because I'd always say the Lions going to win. But you know what? When they went 15-2, I predicted they were going to go 15-2. And you know what? I still have it right here on my desk. Every week that I predicted this, and this was before the season even started, I predicted every single game. I only got 2 games wrong the whole season on which ones we'd win and which ones we'd lose. But I got the final 15-2 correct. And the year before, I did the same thing at 12-5. I'm the ever optimist, and I'm always going to be. This year, I said 13-4. It's not going to happen. There's no way it could happen. The best we could do is 12-5. And the worst we can do is 7-11 or 7-10. You know, is it going to be somewhere in between? Is it going to be one extreme or the other? I don't know yet. But we have to go on this ride, and we got to do it together. So everyone, stop selling your tickets to the Lions games right now. Stop it. There are so many tickets for sale for this Dallas game. People are selling them for under what they are paying for them because they can't get rid of them. Stop selling your tickets for the Steelers game. Let's go. Let's be there for our team. Let's be Lions fans. Go One Pride. Let's do this.
I got a couple more things. I don't know how much longer you want to stay on, but
I can stay on forever. I don't have no time limit today.
We'll go all day. All right. So a couple of things in the chat. Number one, I just read this. I'm an SOL fan. Hold on. Where was that? I'm 46. I'm an SOL fan. Here's why we haven't won anything. Here's why. We haven't won anything still. Where's the NFC Championship trophy or Super Bowl trophy? Okay. I'll start with that. Who would you compare Brad Holmes to? Who do you want to compare? Let me ask that question. Nobody answer it outside of the chat. I mean, meaning you, Eric. Don't answer it. Who would you want to compare Brad Holmes to as a GM and a team that fixed themselves immediately and won an NFC championship, an AFC championship, or a Super Bowl? Give me a name. Which GM? I'll wait. I'm still waiting for that individual to answer.
I got it though.
Hold on. There's
it's
two.
Matt.
Huh?
It's Matt Millen. then in second place would be Bob Quinn.
I'm sorry, I just got that. Okay, so hold on. All right, so Brady, here's what I'm going to say. You got 2 names that you can really throw out. One of them's already been thrown out. But the name that keeps popping up, the team that keeps getting compared to, or Brad gets compared to, is Howie Roseman for the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, so let me give you another lesson. Okay, buckle up, Buttercup. Howie Roseman joined the Philadelphia Eagles in 2010. Their coach was Andy Reid, who was there since 1999. Not a new coach and a new GM walking in. You're talking a coach that was coaching for 10 plus seasons with some of the best offensive and defensive coordinators and coaches in the league. And then
had already made an NFC championship game multiple times.
And so he gets inserted to help take them the distance because the previous GM was not doing it, right? Well, we have never had a GM do anything right in Detroit. So he joins the Eagles in 2010. In that first year, they lost a wild card. They went 10-6. But remember, this is a team that has had the same coach for 11 seasons. This is a team that the year before lost the wild card. The year before lost the conference in 2008. The year before that in 2007 missed the playoffs. The year before that they lost the division. The year before that they didn't even make the playoffs. And then in 2004 they lost a Super Bowl. And then in the 5 years previous to that they lost the conference, and the division. So it's a really good football team. It's a team that could attract players from anywhere. Right? So a really good football team, really good coach. Andy Reid, by far one of the best coaches ever. So 2010, Howie comes in. They lost the wild card. That had nothing to do with Howie Roseman because he's a first-year GM. He has not put his fingerprints on this team yet. They're still getting rid of players, bringing in players, and incrementally installing his vision. The next 2 seasons, they didn't even make the playoffs. In 2011 and 2012. In 2013, they lost the wild card. And the next 3 years, they didn't even make the playoffs. So 2010, not his responsibility, lost the wild card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons, they lost the wild card twice. 5 seasons, they didn't even make the playoffs. 7 seasons. And in 4 seasons with the Detroit Lions, 85% of the roster was thrown in the scrap heap in 2021. All of the players they drafted from 21 and 22, pretty much all of them started. Why? Because we didn't have anybody else to play. And we didn't have any money. They were operating at a net negative. In 2021, I think we had $1 million in cap space. And like $35 million in dead money. In 2022, I think we had $8 million in cap space and like $17 million in dead money. In 2022, we could have made the playoffs. We missed it by a half a game because the refs gave the Seattle Seahawks the game with 4 crazy calls at the end of the fourth quarter. But in 2023, we went to the NFC Championship game. Howie Roseman didn't do that. Howie Roseman didn't even sniff an NFC Championship game until they won a Super Bowl in 2017. It took them 8 seasons. So in 3 seasons, we go to an NFC Championship game that we lose. The next year, we hit the 1 seed. Howie Roseman didn't do that. We get the 1 seed at 15-2 on the backs of our backups, with over half of our team injured and over 21 players gone to injury reserve. We lost an entire defensive front 7 except for Jack. But you're right. Brad Holmes should have won us a Super Bowl in 4 seasons. Because that's ever been done before. Because Howie Roseman hasn't even done that. Okay. Year 8. They win a Super Bowl. And in 2018, which, by the way, that year was won by, wasn't it Carson Wentz? And then Nick Foles came in to wrap it up that year, right? So in 2018, they lost the division. And then in 2019, they lost the wild card. And then in 2020, they didn't even make the playoffs. And then in 2021, they lost the wild card. In 2022, they lost the Super Bowl. In 2023, they lost the wild card. In 2024, they won a Super Bowl. Their record since Howie Roseman, 10-6, 8-8, 4-12, 10-6. So in the first 4 seasons, Eric, do me a favor. Add up our wins and losses from 21 to 24.
46.
No, 21 to 24.
Oh, so -7, it'd be 39.
39 and what?
It'd be 39 wins. Because I was just looking at
So what is that,
all
30,
of our,
39 and 29? So you got 4 seasons times 17 games, just regular season.
yeah.
So that's 68 games, and you're saying that we won 39?
Yep.
So we won 3, we won 9, we won 12, we won 15, right?
Yep.
So 39 and 29 in the first 4 years. Howie Roseman was 10, 8, 4, 10. 32 wins. So in the first 4 seasons,
We have 7 more wins.
we have
than
7
Howie.
more wins than what Howie Roseman was able to put together. And we also have 2 playoff wins and 2 playoff losses where he has 3 playoff losses.
What is Howie Roseman's overall win percentage with the being of the GM?
I don't have that number handy.
Oh, okay. It doesn't tell you.
No,
because
I'd have to add it all up.
okay, because
But I could do it. You just got to give me a minute. But let me finish my thought.
Brad
so-
Holmes is 62%.
Yeah, which is insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
Insanely good. So through the first 4 seasons, again, Brad Holmes is smoked Howie Roseman. But by the way that this is going, if Howie Roseman is the bar, then we're not going to make the playoffs for the next 3 seasons, starting in year 5, just like the Eagles did. We wouldn't make the playoffs this year or the next 2 years. And matter of fact, we'd be like 10-7, 8-9, and 8-9 over the next 3 seasons if Brad Holmes is as good as Howie Roseman. But where does it change? This is where it changes. In 2017, they won a Super Bowl. It took them 8 years of building. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 8 seasons of building. 8 seasons of drafting. Go back and look at the 2017 Super Bowl team and tell me how many players were on that team that were drafted. They were 13-3 on the season and won a Super Bowl at 13-3. The Lions could end up being 12-5 this year. And they could go win a Super Bowl. They could do it at 11-6, just like the Chiefs did. But here's what I'm going to say. For all of you that want to talk all this shit about Brad Holmes, you have not given one reason that makes any sense on this planet as to what he could have done differently. Howie had Reed for 4 years, and then Kelly for 3 years, and then Peterson for 6 years, and then Sirianni for the last 5. So he's had 4 coaches during that span and won a Super Bowl with 2 different coaches. It takes time to build a team. I told y'all from the very beginning that it was going to take 4 years, no less. I thought that we had a chance in 2023 because of the way that we were playing. Best offense I've seen in a long time, but we didn't have a defense. But I said it was going to take 4 years, 4 drafts, because by 4 drafts, you can field almost a complete team if you do it the right way. And if you look at the way that Brad is drafted, he's gone and he's plucked and put a Pro Bowl, All-Pro type player in key positions. He didn't really double up the defensive end. He didn't really double up on a DT or double up on a starting offensive lineman. No, he plucked and put really good players in certain positions. Now, next year, we're getting to the point where now you can start to double up a little bit. But we're going to have to address the offensive line. You still could take another edge, and he better take another edge next year because Aiden ain't it. But you guys are wrong about Brad. If you think that an edge rusher fixes the problem, it doesn't. It compounds the problem. Because then you don't have any money. Period. You won't have Branch. You won't have Jack. You won't have Gibbs. You won't have Sam Laporta. One of those guys or two of those guys are gone because you won't be able to hang on to everybody. What we need right now is a stud left tackle, a stud center, and another linebacker that can actually cover. And then we need people to stay healthy. You give us those three pieces and people staying healthy, this team will win multiple Super Bowls. Now, as far as the window that everyone's talking about, well, you can take that window to the wall, because I'm telling you right now, this team can still win for the next 3 or 4 years. All of our studs are young. Penei Sewell's like 24 years old. Amon-Ra St. Brown is how old? What, 26? 24? 25?
Yeah, he's young.
They're all young. Jared Goff is young, comparably for a quarterback. This team has another 3-4 seasons. Aiden Hutchinson is young. Kirby is young. Branch is young. Gibbs is young. You get the point. Everybody's young. They're all getting into their second contract, which means now they're starting to hit the prime of their career. Now it's who are they as a prime player? Are they great? Are they good? Or are they elite? And I'd say right now we have about 7 guys on this team that are elite. So Brad has done a phenomenal job. Coming from no money, net negative in his first year, 85% of the roster gone. That is very difficult to start with. What did Howie Roseman start with? Howie Roseman started with Andy Reid and a championship level team in 2010. All he had to do was retool a little bit. The Lions took a blowtorch to the entire building. Totally different. So if you don't understand football, it's okay. If you don't understand high-level organizational fixes and how CEOs run a business, or how a GM runs a business, and how they rebuild, and how you start because essentially he went in to start a business from the beginning. You've been around for 90 plus years, but you started over. They even changed the damn concession stands. That's how deep they went. They wanted to make sure that the customer experience, the fan experience was top notch. That's how deep they went. No other team has done that in the last decade. Tell me another team that has. Okay, there's another name. Eric, you were saying something. Do you remember what you were saying?
No, I'm
sorry.
Totally lost her. That's all right.
It's all good. All right, so there was another one. Les Snead. Okay, Rams history. Well, this one I'm not as well versed in, but I'm pretty sure I can pick it apart right off the cuff here. Les Snead joined the Rams in 2012. So back
He's been there a long time.
Yes, I mean not as long as Howie with the Eagles, but two less years than Howie. He started with Fisher as a coach. Terrible. But Fisher was there until they drafted Jared Goff, and then he was gone. So in 2012, he comes in, and they're 7-8-1 in their first year with Les Snead. Now, the year before that, they had Spagnuolo as their head coach, so really good coach before them, right? They had Bradford as their quarterback. So they go 7-8-1 in 2012, 7-9-0, then 6-10, then 7-9, then 4-12. How many playoffs did they make during that span? 0. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Five seasons, 0 playoffs. In the 6th season, they lost a wild card. In the 7th season, in 2018, they lost a Super Bowl. And then in 2019, they didn't make the playoffs. And in 2020, they lost the division. And in 2021, they won a Super Bowl. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 10 years. 10 seasons. And we're upset that Brad Holmes has already delivered a 2-2 playoff record inside of 4. Snead has 1. Let's see. 0-1, 3-1, 5-2. Probably 7. I'm guessing 7-2. 7-2 record in 10 seasons in the postseason, including 1 Super Bowl. 7-2. Because there's 2 seasons that they went to the Super Bowl twice, lost 1, the division once, lost that, and then won a Super Bowl. So there's at least 3 wins in each of those seasons. What are we complaining about? I don't get it.
Yeah. Brian Brady says in here, Roar of 24, every other podcast is talking about Brad's not done enough. Well, that's every other podcast.
Well, hold on. What other podcasts? You mean the ones that all they do is talk shit? The ones that they get every draft wrong? The ones that get every free agency wrong? The ones that they get every trade deadline wrong? The ones that print all the clickbait? Those ones?
Yeah.
The actors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Click, click, click.
So tell me again, how many of them understand football? Because I can tell you right now, there's one channel that comes on that all they do is print clickbait. That's all they do. It's all bullshit. There's another one that was rooted in the tail end of the Quinn Trisha era, and all they do is create hate. It's an act. And it's an uneducated act. And I don't like dismissing or talking crap about people, but the point should remain, go look at their record. Go look at all of the players that they said were going to get signed or all of the players that the Lions were going to bring in and how many actually came to the team. 0. And then go look at my record on how many players actually called live. If you watch this year's draft, 26 out of 32 correct picks in the first round. Called live. Eric was there sitting right next to me. How many players did I call right for the Lions in this year's draft?
Oh, a whole bunch.
There we go. And 2 seasons ago, I got the first 5 picks in the 2022 draft correctly called. For the first 3 rounds, or 4 rounds, actually. No other content creator has done that, and it's not between me and them. It's extremely rare to do that. But it was all printed on paper before the draft even happened. And then it was called during the draft. But it wasn't just the Lions, it was all the other teams. It takes a lot of research. And I'm not a GM. I'm not, well, of the Lions anyway. Or any other team. I'm not an offensive or defensive coordinator. I have no experience inside the NFL at all, period. I've taken what I've done throughout my life and through my careers, and I've applied it towards this, which is utilizing information, research, and applying what I know as a former CEO of $14 billion holdings company, and applied that knowledge to this. What would I do if I was in their shoes? You have to be able to trust people at some point that are going to give you good information. I've done nothing but give you good information here. I don't care what anybody else says. They've been wrong this whole time. They just want something to grab onto to print a bunch of headlines right now. That's what it is.
All they want is for the Lions to fail these last 5 games so they can go, ha, 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 I told you so.
They would all love for me to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, I've been right. And they hate me for that. They hate me because I've been right. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to be conceited and none of that. But if you're going to say things, if you're going to call people out or talk about other creators or whatever and what they're saying, you have to understand the game here. I'm not in this for money. I'm in this to talk about the Detroit Lions. I'm in this to help other cancer warriors and people that are battling cancer. That's what I'm in this for. I'm in this to connect to the team. But if you notice the things that I say, other people will take it and use it. When I say that I want to be the bridge between, the fan and the team, there's another person that stole that from me. The way that I used to end my shows, they stole that. They always steal the little things that I do and say, and then they try to claim it as their own. And then they get proved wrong that we did it in the beginning. So you can trust whoever you want to trust, Brady, or anybody else in the chat, and you can believe what you want to believe, but there's one thing that will always remain. And that is, quite simply, Brad Holmes has been the best GM that the Detroit Lions have ever had. Yeah. And Dan Campbell has been the best coach that the Detroit Lions have ever had. Are they perfect? No.
No.
Do they make mistakes? Perfect. Yes. But tell me another team that is able to navigate these choppy-ass waters, losing all of these players in back-to-back seasons. Mm-hmm. That is very difficult. In playing hindsight, I love when Dan Campbell validates the things that I say. And I don't do a good enough job of doing enough content because I'm sick. I don't feel good. Post-cancer has not been good for me. This past year has been really, really tough for me. And I don't do enough at printing a lot of content to back up my receipts.
Yeah. And listen, this guy in here says, if they won a Super Bowl, some fans would say they won it the wrong way.
Exactly.
Well, they're going to be like, oh, well, they didn't go undefeated. Oh, well, it took them 80 years. Oh, well, they didn't go undefeated in the division to do it. Oh, they didn't do it this way. Oh, they didn't. I don't care how they do it. Listen, the New York Giants started a season 6-6. 6-6. They got in as the number 6 seed before this 7 seed crap. And they won a Super Bowl against a team that was undefeated, 17-0. And they lost in the Super Bowl, and the Giants won it. So if the Giants can do it, the Lions can do it. Everybody needs to stop losing faith in the Lions. Let's all get together and let's root for the Lions, man. Let's make it happen. Instead of talking about what's wrong, let's talk about what's right. Because everybody else is talking about what's wrong.
It's easy to be negative.
Yeah, I want to be different.
Easy. It's easy to be negative. You know what it's hard to be? It's hard to be right.
It's hard to be positive all the time.
And it's hard to be positive. And I fail to look at every day as a glass half empty. I'm going to look at it a glass half full. I'm going to look at the things that the Lions have done spectacularly well. Raising the prices of the seats, yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea. Not as much as what they did. I think it has changed some of the fan base inside of Ford Field. I don't think that was the right move. But the product that they've put on the field and what they've given us has been nothing but spectacular. It's been a big challenge, too, with all of the injuries. You can't blame Brad Holmes because of injuries. But what I was saying earlier is I love it when Dan Campbell validates some of the things that I say, because just the other day, he spoke about hindsight and how it's dangerous. What have I been saying all year? The hindsight 2020 game is a very dangerous game to play. It's also a very uneducated, easy game to play. Because in hindsight, oh yeah, we should have drafted that player because they're still healthy right now. Well, what if they played for the Lions and then they got injured? You don't know that would have happened. Remember, every action, it's based in science basics. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Just because they're on that team and they're healthy doesn't mean that they would have been on this team and stayed healthy. Because it's not the same scheme. It's not the same schedule. It's not the same day that they're playing football games or time. Anything could have happened. But playing the hindsight 2020 game leads you down the wrong path. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I could say, yup, we should have drafted this player, should have drafted that player. But when Brad Holmes is hit on I'm just a wild guess here, about 60+% of his draft picks, not only starting in year one and then becoming extremely good football players, and some of them, a large majority of them, 6 or 7 all-pro Pro Bowl players in 4 drafts? That's insane. Don't judge a draft in year 1. You judge a draft in year 3. You don't evaluate now. Some of these players can't even hit the field because the roster's so loaded. And when they do have to hit the field, Isaac Tesla, for instance, Eric, you know this as well as anybody, he hasn't played a lot, has he?
Nope.
So you can't expect him to go in and be a game changer this weekend or this Thursday night because he hasn't played a whole lot. But that doesn't mean that he can't make some plays. That doesn't mean that next year when he gets installed in the offense more. See, maybe it was Johnny Moe that misused Isaac Tesla during training camp. And so he wasn't getting enough target share, wasn't getting enough looks, wasn't getting prepared the right way because they expected to have J-Mo and St. Brown and Khalif and Sam and Gibbs and David. Where was Tesla going to fit in there? So now you're expecting this guy to go in and change the game. Could he? Sure. Likelihood? Not likely. But that's not because Brad made a bad choice. No. It's because he's the 8th man on the depth chart as a target. That's why. But see, that's the difference between an educated football knower and a casual fan that is just yelling at a screen on Sundays. You actually have to know how these things work. Again, it doesn't mean that Tesla can't jump off the page and rescue our season. He could. It happens. Very few and far between, but it happens. I wouldn't trade what we have going on right now for anything. Even if this season ends in a loss and we don't make the playoffs, I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed because we just had an incredible run that next year we'll pick up again. Guys need to stay healthy. We have an incredible opportunity with Tate Ratledge in his 2nd season. We have an incredible opportunity with Tyleik Williams, who was one of the highest rated defensive tackles during like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I'm excited about the future because we're getting younger again. We got players that aren't even playing right now. I'm going to leave you with a couple more thoughts and then we're going to get out of here.
Sure.
The Chiefs Super Bowl teams. I'll let you guys go do your own research. I know the answer. When you go back and look at the Chiefs Super Bowl teams, almost 85% of the starting roster was drafted. They only brought in a couple of players that didn't do a whole lot. The Rams, same thing. Almost entire team drafted. They brought in Odell Beckham, they brought in Von Miller in separate seasons, and Jalen Ramsey. That's it. They brought in 3 players over the course of 2 seasons, I believe. And Von Miller, I believe, I have to look. They got Jalen Ramsey in the trade deadline. I think they picked up Von Miller earlier that season. And then Odell Beckham went out in the Super Bowl, I think. Helped them get all the way to the Super Bowl, and then I think got injured like the first quarter or something like that. But the rest of that team was drafted. The Eagles drafted. So if anything, you're not seeing the full picture yet. And the full picture is it takes time. It's the 5th year. And the 2 GMs that have been thrown at Brad Holmes for being a failure, Les Snead and Howie Roseman, Brad's already beat him. I mean, he smoked them already in the first 4 seasons. Those guys didn't win until their 7th and 10th seasons. Do I want to wait that long? Hell no. Do I think it's going to take that long? I don't. This team will win a Super Bowl before Brad's 7th year. So, or before the end of his 7th year. So next year or the year after, Super Bowl's coming to Detroit. It could still happen this year. Eric, final 30. Or whatever you want to talk about. I don't even care.
Sure.
Whatever.
Well, I was going to say this for my final today. I got 2 things. First one, Isaac Tesla has 3 touchdowns on the season, while the Green Bay Packers, they drafted Matthew Golden. And Matthew Golden has 0 touchdowns on the season and has played way more than Tesla, has more catches and yards than Tesla, but has 0 touchdowns. I'll take Tesla over Matthew Golden. And then number 2, I got something funny to kind of end today on. We're going to end it a little more lighthearted. You guys ready for this? So, Abdul Carter, I don't know if you saw this or not, but he was not allowed to play in the game for the first 2 defensive series the other night on Monday Night Football. And there's a reason for this. Now, this is the second time this season that he's gotten in some trouble. The first time he was late for a meeting, and this second time he got in trouble for watching a movie during a defensive move, during a defensive
A meeting?
meeting.
Who was this?
Abdul Carter. Now, get this though. So his headphones became disconnected from his phone, and everyone in the meeting room got to hear what movie he was watching.
Oh, no.
And it happened to be an adult XXX movie that he was watching in a defensive meeting. So how about that to end the show? Abdul Carter got caught watching porn during a movie and got suspended for the first 2 series of the game.
So let me back that up. He got caught watching porn during a defensive meeting.
Exactly.
And was suspended for the first 2 series of the game.
Of the game on Monday night. And he also missed the first series against the Detroit Lions because he was late to a meeting.
Probably because he was trying to wrap up watching his video in the bathroom.
So everybody wants to talk smack about J-Mo and the crap he's done. Oh man, Abdul Carter, here you go.
I'm gonna install a new soundbite just for Abdul Carter. So let me find it.
I gotta be a bunch of moaning from a porn.
Oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
Oh.
I'll have to find it. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, that's not it.
Might as well be it. How do you watch porn in that? Okay, one very last thing here. So I asked Gemini AI. I got the new 3.0 yesterday, okay? So I asked it to simulate the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys game tomorrow 10,000 times and tell me who wins this game. So based on a simulation of 10,000 matchups using the latest injuries, advanced stats, and betting markets data for the game scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, December 4th, the winner is the Detroit Lions. In 61.4% of 10,000 simulations, the Detroit Lions defeated the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 30-27.
So I got one more thing because this just popped up, and this has been one of the things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
In SW, I'm not picking on you, but this is something that I've seen pop up quite a bit. So you just mentioned that pointing out the Lions have regressed is not negative. It's truth because last year they won 15 games. This year, the best they can do is 12. If you honestly thought that the Lions were going to win 16 games or 15 again, you got them all wrong.
Standard. That's unrealistic.
It's totally unrealistic. So anything less than 15 wins is quote unquote a regression. But is it? No. How many teams? Here, hold on.
Well, then they're also playing a first place schedule again
Yes.
with tougher teams. And this has been a brutal schedule, especially our road schedule. It's been just brutal.
I'm just going to ask this AI if it can give me an answer real quick. Oh. If this is correct, we're going to end it with this. Here's a poll. How many times has a team won 15 plus games in the regular season?
I don't think any team's ever done it back to back.
And we're going to go, this is how many teams out of the entire NFL ever, right? We're going to say 10. We're going to go 20, 30, and 60. Let me do this. Let's do.
Oh, and don't forget tomorrow's a whiteout, so everybody going to the game, wear white tomorrow. I'm gonna wear a white jersey with my blue cowboy hat.
You're gonna wear the so I was trying to make some cowboy hats that said F Texas on it.
Yeah.
And they sent me a sample. You guys wouldn't believe the sample is so stupid. I can make these at home. I just need to get the foam. So next year I'm going to do it. I'm trying to get a really cool machine for next year. All right, so here's the poll. How many teams have won 15 or more games ever? Like, this is ever. So 10 or less teams have done it. 20 or more, 30 or more, 60 or more. I think you all Googled it.
I already knew it from when we talked about it before.
Yeah. So we'll let that
and
go.
We're the only division in football, the NFC North, to have all four teams at one point have 15 wins.
Oh, really?
Yes, we're the only division.
And that's in separate seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attila wants to know if I'm going to go white beard tomorrow. I wish I had some white spray for my beard, man. Or maybe I'll just leave it like this. Maybe I should say, you know what? I'm not going to dye my beard blue until the Lions win a game.
Ooh. I think you're just trying to be lazy and you're trying to get out of it.
Yeah, I know. No, it's going to be blue for tomorrow.
You're just trying to get out of it.
It's going to be blue.
All
It'll
right,
look
so
really nice with that white jersey.
The answer is 10 or less. It's 9. There's been 9 teams, at least since 1984, that have won 15 or more games. And out of all of those teams, only 2 won a Super Bowl. That was the 84 49ers and the 85 Bears. And only 3 other teams went to the Super Bowl. And that was the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost in 2024. That was the 2015 Carolina Panthers. They lost in 2015, Super Bowl 50. And the New England Patriots in 2007, their undefeated season, they lost the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So there you go. Look, man, at some point, I want you to remember this. There's a common denominator, always. This is something that I've shared with a few people, and they still try to use it. But when there's a common denominator, usually it's the common denominator that's the problem, right? The common denominator right now is the hate, the anger, the SOL fans, and everybody else is trying to blame Brad. That's the common denominator. And they're wrong. They're flat out wrong. Why? Look, they just want your money. They just want you to click. And they know that you're all in your feelings and you're all upset about the Lions. So they're going to print out some bullshit to get you to click. Watch it. Go for it. Doesn't mean they're right. we'll see what happens. I should be back on tomorrow, and then I'm going to leave after that. I decided I am going to go to the game.
Oh, you're going?
Yeah, I am. We weren't going to go, but given the cost of tickets,
I was going to tell you, if you wanted to sit with me, you could just come with me if you want.
no, I mean, given the cost of tickets, we didn't sell 105, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, why, you don't have anyone to go with you?
Not yet. I'm going to find somebody, though.
Oh. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys. I'll see you in the morning, at least for an hour. I just got to get this camera going. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for an hour, and then we'll do the rest of the keys of the game tomorrow morning, and hopefully I'll get caught up today. Breathe. Have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, y'all?
I'm heading to Detroit. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. We'll see you. Take care.